They say everything's bigger in Texas. Tonight, we are doing just that. The best of the best will compete in a high profile, no points, prestigious exhibition race. And after the sun sets and when the dust settles, you'll find a cowboy standing tall. Welcome to the All-Star Race here at Texas Motor Speedway. A huge night in store for the All-Stars of SnB, but first, we have driver spotlights and the open to do tonight. It's going to be a really fun night tonight. Pete, how you doing out there?
Alexa, first off, I absolutely love that opening. That was amazing. Yeah, the stars shine bright, big at night, deep in the heart of Texas. We are here. It's a Legacy Edition, high banks, fast racing, all kinds of different possibilities that could work out. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. It's going to be a really fun night. We do have the open and we're going to go into the race, but we do have a driver spotlight in here tonight. And he is going to be Josh Taylor, driver of the number 2 for Amore Racing. And he is a winner this season, so he is locked into the All-Star race. Josh, how you doing out there tonight?
I'm doing good. I hope you're doing well.
I am. I'm excited. I know you get to chill and just watch this race happen before we head into the race, but we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty and ask some questions for you. All right, question number 1. This one is easy. Just use one word to describe the All-Star race.
Dangerous. Sounds pretty good.
I think so. You know, it's funny because we were talking to the drivers beforehand, and in practice, before we got into this lobby, it was so tight. And then you get out here, the first lap or two is very loose. So I think dangerous is a great way to call it. All right, question number 2. Josh, what is your favorite car to drive on iRacing?
Honestly, I like the Xfinities from last year. I thought they were really fun to drive. These are really fun to drive. I just don't like the draft. I feel like it's a little overpowered.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, we did the Xfinity last season, which was a ton of fun. And I see Steven snuck in here. He is our other driver spotlight for GOAT Incorporated. He drives a 51 Toyota. So great to have you in here, Steven. I hope you have a copy.
Yeah, sorry I'm a little late, guys.
That's okay. So I got to ask you, what is your favorite car to drive on iRacing?
Mine's probably the next gen, just because it's my best car, like, statistically, and I feel like you can do a little bit more strategy with it, even if it's gimmicky sometimes, but sometimes I feel like you get so stuck with the other cars and kind of just have to follow the leader, where with the next gen you can at least try different things a little bit more.
All right, fair enough. Next question, guys. What's a hobby you enjoy outside of racing? And we're going to start with you, Steven.
Oh boy. I guess I would say I'm a pretty big die-cast collector, and at one point I was making like custom 164s, but I stopped doing that for a little bit because they take a long time to do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, really just NASCAR in general, but I collect a lot of die-casts to go with it, so.
How many do you say you have?
I would say I have probably like 75 124s and maybe probably close to 300 or 400 of the 164s.
Oh, wow.
Or-
That's
yeah,
crazy. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, what about you, Josh? What is a hobby that you enjoy outside of racing?
Well, I mean, I play a lot of games, so I play a lot of Dead by Daylight, and also I play a lot of poker. I've been playing poker since I was, really little, and it's just something I like to do. I like to gamble a little bit.
Very nice. All right, next question. You're going to dinner with 3 NASCAR drivers from the past or the present. Who are you going to choose? We're going to start with Josh.
Well, I'm gonna have to go Dale Earnhardt. I don't know if you can go wrong with that.
No, you can't.
I'm gonna have to go Kyle Larson as well.
Oh, okay.
He's my favorite driver, so I just like to watch him win. And the last one would be tough. maybe like Davey Allison or something.
Ooh,
Let's just see what
okay.
Ooh,
I
okay.
can hit him a little
Nice
bit. Yeah.
picks. That's
Mhm.
a nice mixture there. I can get down with that for sure.
Mhm.
All right, Steven, what about you? 3 NASCAR drivers from the past or present.
One would definitely be Carl Edwards because he was my favorite before he retired. Um, Two would also probably be Kyle Larson because he's now my current favorite, and I would like to talk to him about like how he balances the Cup Series and the dirt stuff that he does, and now with him running high limit and everything, that would be pretty interesting to learn about that.
Very
And
nice.
third, I'm not 100% sure who I do. Um, Dale Earnhardt, like he said, you can't really go wrong just because he has so much knowledge about, you know, pretty much at least two different generations of NASCAR. So
That's true. I like those answers, like a nice variety, Pete, I gotta say.
Yeah, yeah, not bad at all.
Absolutely. All right, final question, guys. You both are spectators as you guys have won and are locked in. So, as a spectator of tonight's Open, do you have any guess on who's going to win it? And we're going to start with Josh.
Uh, I think Brian has a probably Brian or Thomas probably have the best shot at it. I feel like since they didn't race last year, um, they just didn't have a chance to get in, to the All-Star race. They probably would have been in the playoffs. So probably one of those two. I could probably see winning tonight.
All right. What about you, Steven? Who do you think?
I think you gotta go with Rivers Jones. He's been pretty good on these mile and a halves recently, and he's just been making a couple mistakes to not be able to close him out at the end. But I think he's a pretty good pick tonight.
All right. I like both of those picks. We'll see what happens. And right when the Open ends, we're going to announce the fan vote. So we will have 4 more drivers for a total of 20 that will be in the All-Star race later on. It's going to be so much fun. You guys stay tuned for it. But man, thank you so much for chatting with us tonight, Steven and Josh. It was fun getting to talk with you. And I wish you a ton of luck heading into the race. But until then, and enjoy the view from off the track.
Thank you. Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
thank you for the interview.
Absolutely. All right, Pete.
Wow. Okay.
We have a lot going on tonight. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see everything that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a ton of fun, but we do have a few drivers that are locked in here.
Yeah, a few drivers that are locked in, and a few that are going to have to race their way in. I do like those chances of the 91, the 68, or the 78. If I'm not mistaken, for Pizzakemi, Tom Harmon. These guys have done very, very well, not only as a driver and in the admin tower last year, and then back behind the wheel again. But those guys are fast every single week. So it'll be interesting to see who works their way to the front. And then for that fan vote, how about earlier they announced? I think you were part of it also. Over 100 votes for this year's All-Star race. That is amazing. That to have those kind of numbers from drivers sending their link out and people actually completing it, and those are amazing numbers. Cannot wait to see who grabs the fan vote when it's all said and done and the track's cleared and the racing is finished.
Absolutely. I mean, we have well over 110 at this point, last time I looked. So
Wow.
I'm kind of curious what we're going to have by the end of the Open. But man, it was extremely tight. In fact, it was tied for a while. So I can't wait to announce it later on. We'll have Brendan Book in the booth later on to announce that. But man, let's take a look at who is actually locked in for tonight. We're going to take a look. We have Justin Anasagak, Brody Folliker, Micah Allard, Brendan Book, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Jimmy Cocker, Connor Cunningham, Forrest Smith. Those are 8 of them that are locked in. The remaining 8, Matthew Opliger, Francis Hamilton, Luke Allen, Josh Taylor, who we just spoke to, Joseph Berg, Thomas Flitcroft, Matthew Gale, and Stephen Maggio, who we just spoke to also. So 16 drivers locked in that will just be spectating the race tonight, having fun. And they were talking about it earlier, Pete, saying it is so much fun just to be able to watch the Open and just know that, there's no pressure to make it in. Just have fun watching.
Absolutely. Yo, the guys that are locked in, those are the ones that we talk about week in and week out. They are front runners, and they've earned their spot into the All-Star race when it's all said and done and the Open is complete. Not to say that there aren't some guys that are in the Open that maybe got caught up in something throughout the beginning part of the season so far, and maybe they would have had a win, or maybe they would have been a little bit higher in points. There isn't a single person on track that I don't think can get something done week in and week out, whether it's a super speedway, a road course, a cookie cutter, or whatever. These guys are all capable of getting it done week in and week out, again, on any kind of track there is.
Absolutely. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Appreciate you guys. I see all of you guys out there. Matthew Opliger, thank you so much for the follow. David, I see you out there. Both David, Stacka, congratulations. Awesome news. We're getting ready to go to qualifying. These guys will be out on track. Let's talk about, as we are waiting, what the All-Star format is going to look like for the Open directly after qualifying. We're going to have a 40-lap race with 2 sets of tires. The top 3 finishing drivers from the Open will make the race. And as I said earlier, the fan vote will be announced at the conclusion of the Open here. For the All-Star race, it's going to be 80-lap race. You must make a 4-tire green flag pit stop during stage 1. The stage breakdown, we're going to have 35 laps for stage 1, 35 laps for stage 2, and 10 to finish off the race. The stage 3 restart order, this is where it gets a little interesting. First will be the stage 1 winner, and they must be on the lead lap. P2 will be the stage 2 winner, who also must be on the lead lap. Pretty much everybody has to be. The third position will be stage 1, second place, and P4 will be stage 2, second place. Fifth on back is just going to be how they exit from pit road. So a lot going on here, but man, it is going to be so much fun. I just cannot wait. But let's take a look at these drivers and how they're going out here in qualifying.
Yeah, so far, Brian Piscemi in that number 78 posted the fastest time. So far, only 3, now 4 drivers under that 31-second mark. And just as I was about to talk about, Brian Piscemi, Jamie Wright in that 03 went out there and put up a blistering lap, almost a 10th faster than Piscemi. Austin Mitty, Jordan McGraw, and Rivers Jones, as well as Dylan Robb for the top 6. All in that 30-second bracket. And just as I say that, old J-Mac broke the 30-second bracket, posting a 29.98.
Yeah, a great time for Jordan McGraw. None of FTR was able to make it as a lock-in, so all of them will have to race in tonight. So a lot of pressure, as only 3 drivers from this race will make it into the All-Star race, and then we will have 1 fan vote. So there is a little bit of pressure, Pete, to be able to make it into the final 3 spots here. But you can see Jordan McGraw first so far, Thomas Harmon in second, Jamie Wright in third, Brian Piscemi, Harmon and Piscemi for I gotta remember the name of their team, but yeah, all of their team are on. Yeah, Output. Thank you. I was about to say Outlaw. But yeah, their team are not locked in. They will have to race their way in. Rivers Jones was a pick to win it here tonight in the Open. We have Austin Minnie, Joseph Turley, Matt Sisler, Mike Campbell, Philip Bridgman. So that is going to be your top 10 so far in qualifying times.
Yeah, I mean, the couple of the drivers that we were talking about just a moment ago before qualifying started off, Tom Harmon in that 68, the 78 of Brian Piscemi, and then the 91 of Rivers Jones. Rivers Jones in that 91 has had a phenomenal amount of speed in these cars, as well as last year when he really started to pick up that momentum. I think this could be a huge night for that 91, and I would say if he works his way through, it'd be very, very, it would be done deservedly so.
Absolutely. We talk about it all the time, but I have to bring it up again. These drivers and the improvement that they show is just so fun to watch. And
Absolutely.
Rivers Jones, I mean, just an incredible amount of talent. So it's great to see him do so well. And there goes Jarrett Cardwell to the top of the board. So FTR, the top 3 drivers currently. Great news for those guys. Thomas Harmon sitting P4, Jose Ruiz in 7th, Rivers Jones 8th. So a lot of movement throughout the field here. But I'm excited to see this get started. Qualifying is almost over. Do we have any more takers? Jonathan Hernandez looks like he is out there. We'll see what kind of time he gets.
Well, let's talk about times. How about all of Team FTR right now inside the top 4? I know it can't finish that way, but look at that. Ruiz, Cardwell, McGraw, and Honeycutt. You need a great team photo when that is all said and done, if that top 4 should stay the same. But here comes the number 1 bullet of Jonathan Hernandez to try to spoil that. And yep, puts it P2 before a moment. What a phenomenal run by Team FTR.
Yeah, great run. He has a ton of talent also for Jonathan. So great to see him get that P2. But Jose is going to be on pole. Great news for him.
Wow.
He's just had a lot of bad luck this season. So it's great to see him do well. I know Dylan Robb, he would love to be out there in the field. But let's take a look and get this grid rolling out here. All right, on pole, you saw it, Jose Ruiz, and that number 23 is going to be right beside Jonathan Hernandez in that 1 machine. Row 2 is going to be Jarrett Cardwell in the 12 with Jordan McGraw on his outside in that 34. Row 3 is going to be John Honeycutt in the number 50 with Thomas Harmon in the 68. Row 4 is going to be Jamie Wright in the 03 with Brian Pizzakemi in the 78. And in row 5, it's going to be Rivers Jones in the 91 with Austin Mitty in the 9 car.
All right, started P11, the number 13 for Joe Turley with Matt Sisler in the 45 to round out row number 6. Rocking P number 12. P13 looks like Mike Campbell Jr., old Papa Bear, in that number 71 with Philip Bridgman in 24 starting 14th. 15th, Kevin Dallatorre in the number 92, and to his outside, Dylan Robb in that number 16. Could starting 16th and being the number 16th be a good omen? We'll have to see. 17th, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer with, looks like, I just clicked that a little too quick. There we go. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer with Brendan Book in the 5 to his outside. Francis Hamilton in the 48 with Brody Falliker, last season's champ, in the 42, sitting P20.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the rest of these guys are already locked in. Tom Flitcroft, I think he is part of this, so he is P24, but we'll back it up a little bit. Francis Hamilton, 48 in the 19 spot. Brody Falliker, as Pete said, 20th spot. Josh Taylor, 21st. Jimmy Cocker, 22nd. Joe Berg, 23rd. And Tom Flitcroft, 24th. But as again, I said, I do believe some of those are already locked in.
Absolutely. Matt Gale back there in the 27th spot to round out the entire field. As the pace truck starts to roll, so do our leaders. Again, the 23 of Jose Ruiz is the control car. Going to go ahead and set him loose when we come back around the next time. Getting ready to lock and load here from Texas, Eliza. Let's get ready to roll.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one out there. I thought I heard Brendan Book in the booth here. Brendan, I know you made some laps out there. What can you tell us to expect as we get a couple of laps under our belt?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this car, it's especially with the high temps on the tracks, it's pretty tight in both corners. 1 and 2, I mean, at least turn 1 entry, it's actually not that bad, but then it can get, real tight at the very end of the corner. Turn 3 and 4 is basically tight the entire time. So there's going to be a lot of lifting, a lot of off throttle time, and the fall off is pretty significant as well. So tire saving will matter. They have 2 sets of tires in the pits, so I think if we get some cautions, there is some strategy for people to play as far as that goes. But hopefully they all race pretty smart here.
All right, we're getting ready to go green. 40 laps here for the open race. It's going to be a fun, exciting one here at Legacy, Texas. I know there's a lot of drivers hoping to make it into the main show. We'll see how it all goes out, but here we go. Green flag for our drivers as they get ready to cross the line. Jose Ruiz in a great spot as they are 2 wide all the way through.
Yeah, 2 wide all the way through. Looks like the one on the outside of the leader, blinking just a little bit as he's got Jordan McGraw going to go ahead and duck down low. Now, I got to say, Eliza, this 23 of Jose Ruiz, if he's got any kind of bad luck, hopefully that's all behind him. Usually it's because he gets wrapped up in somebody else's issue. Well, right now, him and his teammate, Jared Cardwell, running side by side. The 23 will go ahead and lead the first
Got a
lap.
wreck in the back, Make sure
you're
Trouble out here. Look like Jamie Wright in some contact with a couple of drivers. Let's see if we can take a look, see what happened, but quite a few drivers involved in this one.
Yeah, looks like somebody got loose there and came up into the 68 with a little bit of netcode. That was the 03 of Jamie Wright.
3 wide as they were making their way through, and man, it is the open. These guys racing for every piece of real estate that they can get, and Jose Ruiz going to keep that lead. Jarrett Cardwell in second. Jonathan Hernandez going to round out your top 3.
Yeah, Rivers Jones, Jordan McGraw, Joe Turley for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Tom Harmon right now in 7th. Brian Pizzakemi, John Honeycutt, and Philip Bridgman to round out the top 10. Eliza, some of the guys decided to dip down and go through the grass, go down pit road in order to avoid all that melee. For once, I think the 23 pretty happy with his starting spot.
Yeah, I think, where you're going to start is huge for this race, and we see a couple of drivers affected by that incident there that are coming in. Jamie Wright, John Honeycutt, Austin Mitty, Mike Papa Bear Campbell, all on pit lane. We're going to see these guys come out in the back of the pack here, which is good news if you want to try to save that car and avoid the chaos.
Yeah, I mean, this track, like Brendan was saying, very, very loose to begin with, and then it flipped to the tight side. A lot of drivers during the hour or half hour, 45-minute practice were saying a lot of the same. We saw some guys back into the fence, saw some others in that transition off of 3 and 4 go down through the grass. Have to see how the rest of the race plays out.
So yeah, I got one new thing that we're trying here in SnB for this all-star race is the choose rule is in effect for these restarts. And as the field comes to 2 to green right here, the field will be choosing if they want the inside or the outside lane.
Do you think there's a preferred line to choose as Jose is going to be the leader? What would you choose?
I mean, as leader, I don't think it really matters. But as the outside, but anybody beyond that, honestly, I'd kind of would want to take the outside. Just try to get that momentum off the corner.
Yeah, a lot of drivers already making their choices. So some that have chosen the outside have gained a couple of spots as there were quite a few drivers taking that inside line. And I can tell you, you can gain a couple of spots from just picking the opposite of what all the other drivers are. So we'll see how they can gain doing that. Rivers Jones going to lead that high side with Jose still leading on that inside as we get ready to go back to green coming to lap 5.
Brendan, I know that you turned a lot of laps in the opening practice. If you're on that high side for a restart such as this, with the banking being Legacy Texas before they flattened it out completely, is there any real momentum coming off 1-2 down the backstretch?
Oh, sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah.
No, honestly, I think there is, because it can get real tight off turn 2, especially if you're right on the bottom. But if you could, not overdrive the middle of the corner on the middle lane outside, if obviously that guy could choose to wall you, which I would hope that these guys don't do that. But yeah, there is. If you're not clear, you definitely want to be in that outside line.
Well, look at this. By virtue of being the control car, Jose Ruiz first on that loud pedal. Pulls right ahead. I'm going to guess there was a little bit of team communication there because the 12 of Jarrett Cardwell didn't miss a beat, keeping right there on his back bumper. It looks like the one of Jonathan Hernandez able to follow through as well. Rivers Jones up on the high side. We're wrecking again in the back.
And Jordan McGraw involved in that one also. Contact between him and Thomas Harmon just right on each other. I don't know if they could get any closer, but there they were, and that caused some chaos, and here we go out with another caution.
And
Oh,
we're staying green here. The sim did not call the caution, and as
Oh,
per the
it did
rulebook,
not.
there are no yellows at 1.5 mile tracks
Yeah,
by
and
the admins.
Good point.
everybody pretty much stayed facing forward. Nobody actually spun it around. So yeah, like Tom just said, we're staying green. And I'm sorry, Brendan just said we're staying green. Looking at Tom Harmon, I apologize. Yeah, 23 of Jose Ruiz continues to lead. 12 still there, P2. And on the move now, the 91 of Rivers Jones putting Jonathan Hernandez back to P4 and Joe Turley. And talk about Rivers Jones, he just went Shake a Big Purple, posting the fastest time so far of a 30.15.
Yeah, that incident caused a huge separation between our drivers. The top 5 have definitely left the remainder of the field, which is going to help them out. I know the rest of the guys are hoping for some kind of caution here, make up some time, but good news for these top 5 drivers, and Rivers Jones, popular pick to win tonight here. Top 3 drivers will make it into the main show. We'll see what happens. Still a ton of laps left, and let's take a look. We're going to have Dylan C. Robb in this pack. Austin Mitty leading this next pack. Kevin Dallator, he's going to be in 8th. John Honeycutt in 9th. And Brian Pizzikimi is going to round out your top 10. All drivers in these final few positions, they are very well separated.
Yeah, I mean, between the 13 of Turley and Mitty in that number 9 sitting P6, you're talking about a good 3+ seconds. So, Brandon, I've got to ask you, if you're sitting P5 and you're in this string of cars that now have a great gap back to Mitty in that 6th position, do you sit there and ride, keeping that air cut down since you're in a single file line? Or do you try to mix it up, knowing only that the top 3 will move on?
I mean, I think it's too early to mix it up, to be honest with you. And honestly, you could save a lot more tire not being the one that has to lead the pack and going hard to maintain that track position. Because this is still 30 laps to go coming right here to the line. So there's plenty of time to save tire and give yourself an advantage if it does stay green.
Well, here we go, Eliza. 91 making a move on the 12 with Jared Cardwell trying to take second place. I'm going to guess that the 12 had a little bit of an issue keeping the left sides on that white line, right where you see the 91, the 23, the 13 and company. They're coming off 2 down the backstretch.
Yeah, these guys really racing for position. A little early to be doing so, but hey, you got to get what you can get. And here they go. You can see the 12 on the outside, the 91 down low, the 24 is on that outside. I don't even think he's up here for position. He's just in the mix. And then the remainder of these guys still very far off. Not what you want to see as a driver, and you see them walking away from you, but here we are. The field extremely separated.
Very interesting to see the bite that the 12 got off that high side. So I guess that really goes to answer the question that I asked Brendan a little bit ago. Definitely a whole lot of momentum up on that up on the banks to try to get a great launch off the corner and down the straightaway, as now the 24 kind of coming into the mix. 23 of Jose Ruiz chooses that second groove as everybody else riding behind the 24. 24 right now got his lap back the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and as you mentioned there, the 24, he actually was 2 laps down, so now he just got back to 1 down. He was involved in that incident that happened on the backstretch on the restart there.
All right, Brendan, I got to ask you, who do you think is going to win this race and will move on into the main?
I mean, if it stays green, I think Jose's in a pretty good spot because he has a little bit of buffer there, and he has a teammate right there behind him. But, I mean, that one car, Jonathan Hernandez, he's pretty quick. And he's been, a pretty consistent driver throughout this season. And that's if it stays green. If we get a yellow, I mean, I'm looking for somebody like Honeycutt to get back up there, Brian as well. So it just depends, though, if these guys can keep it green or if we get a late yellow.
I'd be really curious right now, Eliza. You got to wonder if Jose Ruiz absolutely yelling in his mic for that 24 to get out of the way. He's pretty much taking the line and dumping all kinds of dirty air on the nose of the 23. Right now, usually as the leader, you haven't caught lap traffic yet. So you're not having to crank any additional wheel into it in order to keep those turns going. The 24 it looks like the 24 is starting to gap the rest, But if you're the leader, are you hoping that that car just gets out of the way?
Yeah, I don't know that he's much of an issue at this point. Definitely earlier on, I know he was probably like, come on, I got places to go. I got to keep these guys behind me. But right now, I think he's doing all right. And he's got the two battling behind him, including a teammate. So as long as that continues, I think Jose is sitting in a pretty good spot. But that 12, he looks to be in a pretty good hurry. And that 91 is just, these two are very, very competitive, going side by side. I don't think it has ended yet at all.
Yeah, I think those two side by side is Jose's best friend right here. Because if he can break the draft, he can definitely start to pull away and not even have to be a part of this fight for the last two spots into the All-Star race.
Want to go
I
on?
continue to watch that 12 up on that high side, not really giving up at all. Every now and then you'll see him kind of pinch the 91 down, maybe trying a little bit of side draft, move up, try to gain a little bit more up and off the corner down the straights. But this battle for P2, I mean, right now, both of those guys, if we were coming to the white flag, they would both make it as long as they got to the next one. But Joe Turley in that 13 or the one of Hernandez may have something to say about it when it's all said and done. They could just be laying there in the laying low in the weeds, waiting to see which one moves. Let these guys use up their tires, and then they'll pounce.
Absolutely. Scott Cole, how are you? It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. We are on board with Joseph Turley. And you can see he doesn't really have a lot of places to go. He just really has to use the momentum of the car ahead of him to try to get somewhere and gain position. He's going to take it down low behind Rivers Jones, try to gain that. But that 12 is just so incredibly strong on the outside. I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot of movement yet.
No, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot yet. Now I think the 12 kind of kicking back just a little bit. The one of Hernandez all over the left rear of that 12. Good thing Uncle Netco didn't take a flight into Texas, because that could have been really, really bad for JCX or Jarrett Cardwell, and sent him into the grass, as now looks like the leader has caught the 24 and about to put him another lap down.
That really killed his momentum right there off the corner. Jose had a lift, and that allowed them to gain about 3-4 car lengths down the backstretch.
Yeah, you definitely have to use that momentum. And Jonathan Hernandez, he's just, he's really aggressive, does not hide it. I've raced in other leagues with him. Ton of talent, but he is not afraid to go ahead and push you up there and do what he needs to do to get not only you up there, but himself. And you can see these guys are really mixing it up. We have Jose too wide for that lead currently, and Rivers Jones is going to have a nose out as they are too wide still for that lead. Things are really starting to get mixed up now as we have 20 laps to go. We are halfway through this race, heading into the main tonight for the All-Star. Only 3 drivers will make it, and all of these guys are going for that spot.
Absolutely, 91 absolutely throwing it in, while the 23 of Jose still up high. I think he'd prefer to be down on the bottom. You'll cover less track, fastest way around, but because you keep it open on that high side more and more, and you really start to wear out that right front. Not a whole lot you can do off the right rear up there. Joe Turley, I guess he says, nah, Pete, I'm not just going to lay in the woods. Here I come for P3.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but man, that race in the back of this front pack was a little intense. It included Philip Bridgman, which is not involved in that battle, but they were 3 wide for quite a while. Meanwhile, this battle for the lead is still ongoing, the 91 and the 23. No one is giving up this spot. Both going for it lap after lap. Jose with some nice momentum coming out of this exit, gets a little tight down low, trying to squeeze that 91 car, but still nice momentum coming out.
Absolutely back side by side, first, second, third, and fourth, just rocking it out, going into turns 1 and 2. The 12 of Jarrett Cardwell now back in P5, maybe trying to let his tires cool off a little bit and make a run at it late. Still side by side for the lead, as the one of Hernandez going to shove the 91 all the way into 3.
Yeah, I talked about him giving those pushes, and I'll tell you, That was a big one. The 91 goes straight out there to the lead, and he is able to use whichever lane that he needs to make something happen. And that one was going to try to follow, but the 91 not giving him any draft until now as he's taken it low into that corner. The 23 is now going to be put too wide with that one car.
Yeah, when the one gave that 91 a big old push in, he had to actually get out of it. I wouldn't be surprised if he had to tap the brakes just a little. Otherwise, he might have ended up in the car with Jose Ruiz as they continue to run side by side for second. And it looks like the 13 of Joe Turley right now running fourth. The 24, he's got a bird's eye view at everybody that's got a chance right now to win this Open.
Mike Papa Bear Campbell in that 71. He is not in this lead lap here. You can see the drivers making their way through as he is going to stay up high, able to get out of the way here. But the 91, a little bit of a gap as he has taken over that lead and put them a bit behind. The one is now going to go too wide with that 23 still. We're going to have Joseph Turley in P4, Jarrett Cardwell in 5th, Dylan Robb in 6th, Austin Mitty in 7th, and these guys have caught each other for a group of 4 that are in the second pack. They're going to have to use that to try to close that gap. I don't know how well they're going to be able to, though.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi, he's also in the mix right there behind the 50 of John Honeycutt. That number 9 Coors Machine, old throwback to Bill Elliott. But Dylan Robb, right now, his last lap was a 32:21, actually a little bit closer. I'm sorry, a little bit faster, I should say, than the leader of the race right now. So if he can pull this pack up there, or even get up there by himself as they go 3 wide behind him, 9 up high, 50 of John Honeycutt in the middle, and Pizzakemi down low.
That is going to be a battle for P750 hard into the inside wall. He is going to spin around contact again with the inside wall. We are still green, though. Unfortunate news for FTR driver John Honeycutt. But the race continues. Here goes. Caution is out, and that will be for John Honeycutt.
Wow, this is something that the 91 did not want to see. I mean, he had a commanding lead. He set out, or he was staying in the back a little bit to try to keep things status quo until he felt it was time to go, and he was starting to extend that gap just a little.
All right, Brendan, you're out here. You're in the lead. You're in the position of Rivers Jones. How are you feeling going back to green after this caution? How are you going to keep everyone behind you?
I mean, first thing I care about is putting 4 fresh tires on that car. No doubt about it right here to pit. But, yeah, I mean, like I said before, I don't think it matters what lane the leader takes. As long as you can get a good launch out of the box, you should be clear into 1. But, I mean, at this point, with the draft, everyone has on fresh tires, and it's going to be such a short run that everyone's going to be going hard, and everyone's going to take about every run that they get. So there's going to be some bold moves that to be made, and you have to be quick with your blocks if you're leading.
Yeah, we're going to be coming up to 10 here to go at the line. So not too many laps left, but you're going to watch all of these drivers make their way down pit lane, trying to get those fresh tires, more fuel to top us off and get this race completed. But Rivers Jones, he's really going to have to nail this pit stop. And position is king. You really don't want to have to fight with these drivers.
I agree with you 100%. I tell you what, though, I think one guy extremely happy to see this caution is that 16 of Dylan Robb. I mentioned he was faster than the leader by a good 10th. So he was coming. He was starting to break away even before those guys got 3 wide behind him. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of battle this turns out to be. We're about to have a 10-lap shootout here in the Lone Star State.
91 leads us out. Jose Ruiz in 2nd. Joseph Turley is going to come out 3rd. Jonathan Hernandez 4th. Jarrett Cardwell 5th. Dylan Robb up 6th, and he's gained 10 spots from where he started. Meanwhile, Rivers Jones, who is leading, he gained 8 spots along with Joseph Turley. Brian Pizzakemi is going to be coming out 7th with Austin Mitty in 8th. Thomas Harmon 9th, and Kevin Dallator in 10th.
And Mike Pop Bear Campbell, he's going to go ahead and stay out and come in on the backside from P11. Jordan McGraw in P12. John Honeycutt 13th. Philip Bridgman in that 24 qualified 14th, right where he runs right now. The 45 and Matt Sisler, P15, P16, Jamie Wright. Connor Cunningham 17th, Joe Berg 18th, and Francis Hamilton 19th with Matt Gale right behind him in that 67 from the UK in 20th.
Couple of drivers go around to get their lap back. Meanwhile, Rivers Jones just contemplating how to keep everyone behind him, and Jose, he's thinking to himself, how am I going to get this good restart, keep this outside, maybe communicate with that one car of Jonathan Hernandez and say, hey, let's do a little teamwork to get up here and push me to the lead, and I'll help bring you around.
Brendan Book, got to ask you, with the 91 leading the field, any restart games with the prestige of this race? Are you going to try to get that 23 to jump and maybe cause them a black flag by passing the leader? Or do you think it's all gamesmanship here?
See, I got to tell you, from personal experience, you just got to, not try to play any games here. Honestly, you just want to get to that box and go, The earlier you go in the box, the less likely that they're going to be able to predict when you go. The longer you wait, the more that guy's going to be ready to go. So if it was me, I'd be going right at the start, so I don't have to worry about that guy, timing me just right.
Ready, green flag.
There we go. 91 first on a loud pedal by being the control car coming across the line. 8 laps to go, Eliza. It's coming down to the wire.
Yeah, that 91 as a control car, he's doing great, but Jose Ruiz going to fall back. Jonathan Hernandez, you can see him blinking out. Not great news for the drivers around him, but Jarrett Cardwell going to come out right in front of Jose Ruiz. Single file line for our first several drivers, and then we're going to have about 3 wide almost for a second. That was going to be around about P7. These guys have filed out. About single file now, but that 92 is going to be 2 wide with Brian Pizzikimi in that 78.
Yeah, Jordan McGraw right behind him in the 34, the 68 of Tom Harmon right ahead of them. Tom Harmon absolutely wanted to see that caution as well in that blue frozen machine. Austin Mitty just ahead of him as the one of Hernandez getting loose. Got the left side down on the apron, 3 wide with the 23 on the bottom.
That was a big block by the 13 right there into turn 3. Oh, get down the front straightaway.
I don't know if they're going to be able to keep it straight. They go through the grass. The one car makes contact with a couple other drivers as they were 3 wide. Somehow keeps it green. Fantastic save for these drivers. I don't think Joseph Turley is going to be too happy about that one. Rivers Jones still in the lead with a nice gap over Jarrett Cardwell, who's in P2. Austin Mitty in third with Jose Ruiz directly on him.
Yeah, I think the biggest winner right there was Austin Mitty. He was outside the top 3 right there, and he's right in that 3rd spot after that contact and no yellow.
Yeah, hello, Rivers Jones. How about you want to think that maybe nerves playing a little bit? The man just posted the fastest lap there on those brand new Feel Good tires, 29.9, the one and only lap under the 30-second bracket so far. The man wants to get this done.
Yeah, he is a man on a mission, and we've seen him do so well throughout these seasons. Just a lot of improvement, and I would not be surprised to get him a win here tonight and move him on into the All-Star race. Top 3 drivers will make it, and then the 4th will be the fan vote for a total of 20 drivers in the All-Star race, and he is one of the picks for our driver spotlight drivers. It may happen, Pete. We're going to find out in just 2 and 3 to go.
Yeah, how about this 12? Don't sleep on Jarrett Cardwell right now. He was very, very fast in the short run before, and that's exactly what we've got. He is all over the back bumper of the 91. 91 starting to worry a little bit, tries to pull down to break the draft. Jarrett's going to stay just about a half a lane higher. Keep a little bit of fresh air on the nose of his number 12 off of turn 4. 2 to go, Brendan.
We're 2 wide here now for that transfer spot. Jose got a real good run through the middle of 3 and 4 and is now to the inside of Austin Mitty here. If I'm Jarrett and Rivers Jones here, I am loving them side by side behind me, especially now with about 6 turns to go here. They're getting a good gap here. They should be in the good as long as they don't wreck themselves.
Yeah, these guys, top 2 spots are doing just fine, but this spot right here, only the top 3 make it. So Jose and Austin Mitty just going to battle it out for the final 2 laps here. Thomas Harmon, he's hoping they continue to do so and he can catch up with that draft. We're going to find out as it is the final lap. We head into turn 2, still side by side for this 3rd spot that is going to transfer. What do you think's going to happen, Pete?
I tell you what, 23-9 on the backside. 23's got to hope that he gets a great entrance into turn number 3. 23's going to try to get on the fuel a little bit quicker. 9 carrying the momentum off the high side. It's going to be a battle side by side to the line. Who's it going to be?
Rivers Jones brings it home, a winner. Jarrett Cardwell in second, and it looks like Austin Mitty will transfer over into the main all-star race. Jose Ruiz just misses out. I know he's got to be heartbroken, but man, what a wild, wild race. Fantastic job to these guys. We'll have to get them on in here. And Brendan, I know we have a little something to do here. We're going to bring in the all-star fan vote. Who's the winner?
Here, do you want me just to pull that person up in here and give them a little surprise?
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now. Hey, Mike Campbell, guess what?
Hey, what?
You're racing in the All-Star race tonight.
Hey,
You're the fan vote winner.
Hey,
I'm the
all right,
fan vote
Mike.
winner?
Yes, you are, sir.
Nice.
Yeah,
Dude,
the most
you know,
votes. You had a nice campaign going out there and fan vote winner, so welcome to the All-Star race.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, Jose seen me post it in some of the places, and he's like, "Oh, so we're gonna go play this game, are we?" I was like, "Heck yeah, we are." I was like, I had it all over Facebook, every Discord I'm in. I had a thing on TikTok.
You were busy, okay.
I was
Congrats,
busy.
Bob Deere,
I was like,
congrats.
I was like, I'm not as fast as some of these guys. I'm out here as a hobby racer, but it's awesome to make it to the All-Star race and race with these guys. That's cool.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, and man, Rivers Jones out there. What a huge finish for you, winning here tonight. You're going to move on to the All-Star race. Congratulations. And how did you keep everyone behind you to take home that win tonight?
Well, thank you so much, first off. Well, I started 9th, I believe it was, and mainly just getting through that first lap, because that first lap was really chaotic. I mean, it felt like, cars were spinning everywhere, it seemed like, so I was just trying to get my way through that, and then caution came out, and I was 4th, and I knew, okay, I'm going to have to save some tire here, but I also want to try to get up in the lead, because I wanted to win, and I saved, and I was able to make my way to the front, and that caution came out, and I knew if I just saved a little bit to the end and pushed the right amount, I knew I was going to be able to get that checkered flag.
Yeah, it's great to see out there, and I will tell you that our driver spotlight driver for tonight, they said Rivers Jones, he's going to bring it home a winner. He's just been doing so well, and I think he's got the car to get it done, and he was definitely right, and it's just really cool to see you out here in Victory Lane.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
All right, next up, Pete, we're going to have FTR driver Jarrett Cardwell.
JC, congratulations on making it into the All-Star race. Whole lot of speed out of that number 12 Ford Mustang, and it was great to watch you up there. For a moment, Team FTR was 1, 2, 3, 4 to fire off that open race. Talk us through your race, the speed that you were able to get out of that machine, and this finish, and then finally what it means to make it into the All-Star race, sir.
Man, Pete, oh my God, it's great to talk to you, bud. It's been a long time coming.
Yes, sir.
And getting to one of these post-race interviews here. Now, really proud of the effort that the team put forward together today. I was joking. They're going to ask what setting do we know that no one else figured out. But no, great start. Just played into being able to have the track position and be able to manage the tires the way that I needed to try to keep myself in it as the car evolved over the course of the run. After the caution came out, it was kind of gloves off, just go for it. I didn't quite have it for the 91. Great race there by him. Wish that my teammate Jose could have got my draft off there. We could have got another one in, but all in all, proud to be in the All-Star race and really looking forward to it.
I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing what you're capable of doing. What did you learn in that 40 lap race that you might be able to apply going forward to the All Star?
I mean, I think just being around the other cars, just kind of as the run goes on, kind of knowing what struggles they're going to be dealing with, when to expect them to have the lift off points, or knowing when they're going to be pushing too hard, how to make them push too hard. I think 40 extra laps might be a little bit of an advantage tonight. It's so rough on the tires, and every lap really matters. So we'll give them hell.
All right, buddy. Good luck. Go get it. Glad to talk to you. Man, I tell you, Eliza, Austin Mitty, a battle to the line with Jose Ruiz underneath him. He comes in third, and he's with you.
Yeah, how about that? Austin gained 7 spots to bring it home to make it into the All Star race here. How did you make it up there and take it over for Jose?
I think I missed that wreck off the wreck off that restart, and I just got a little lucky, to be honest with you. To have fresh tires, if that was like 20 laps in, I wouldn't be able to keep up with these guys. So you know, I don't know. I think I got lucky. Jose does a hell of a race at the end. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, there was definitely some fun battles out there. And what are you going to take from this race going into the main race?
Probably right in the back. Watch Brody and Francis and those guys dominate. Probably relax in the back. Probably.
How was the track out there for you? Was it pretty tight, especially in the dirty air, or was it all right?
Yeah, I thought at the beginning of the race I was saving tires, and for some reason the guys behind me were just rolling me down. I don't know. I don't know. That track's hard. I never raced there before, the legacy version at least.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a challenge, but man, it was fun getting to watch you guys out there, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen for the main All Star race. And just a huge congratulations to you three for making it in there.
Thanks, Liza.
All right, Pete, we're getting ready to go into this main race. Brendan, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm right here still.
All right, do we do we have that new lobby up, or is it still going
Yep,
to be a sec?
it is up now. Got some people in here already.
All right, we're going to switch it over, Pete, and join the new lobby where the main All-Star race will take place. Let's get that rolling.
Appreciate
All
you
right,
guys
getting
having me here.
Brendan, good luck tonight. I know you don't want to hear it, but good luck.
I'll try. I'll try.
Good luck, Brendan.
Okay, you guys have fun.
Will do.
I'm out, everybody. Thank you.
All
Good
right,
luck,
Mike,
Pop
take
Bear.
it easy.
Thank you.
Good luck, Rivers. Good luck, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're joining the session now. Let me know. I know, Jose. I was so excited. FTR just finishing strong out there and qualifying, and man, you had incredible battles, led quite a few laps. Sandy says, great race. Topher says, Austin's the best there is. A lot of fans out here, but Jose, we were all rooting for you. Just a great race overall. I hate to see that caution because you guys were definitely on the move, but man, Pete,
Yes.
any guesses on who's going to win tonight?
Oh boy. I mean, this race is exactly what it is. It is kind of the creme de la creme of the Shake and Bake iRacing Gen 6 Cup Series. So it's gonna be an all-out battle. Can I call a favorite? Absolutely not. It is literally full of all-stars. If I had to pick one, how can you go against the 42 of Brody Fallaker? I mean, the man is dominant week in and week out. Steven Maggio, very, very strong. I mean, there's some guys. I mean, we just watched the 91 as it played out for him, grab the W in the Open to progress to the All-Star race. So I think there's a lot of very, very strong drivers out here, and I don't think any of these guys would be a surprise. How about you?
I agree. I mean, this is literally the all-star race. Any of these drivers have a huge chance at a win. So I really do not know, but man, I am loving the new paint schemes that I'm seeing out here on track. Some drivers saying, I'm going to bring this out here tonight. Give me some good luck. You see Connor Cunningham with another just fabulous 3 scheme. We have Brody Fallaker. He's got his trusty Lucky 42 out there. Matthew Gale Jimmy Cocker, Virginia Tech. So all these drivers just a huge chance to win. 20 drivers, huge talent out here. It's just going to be extremely competitive. And remember, guys, this is an 80-lap race. These guys will have to make a 4-tire green flag pit stop during stage 1. They absolutely have to, otherwise they will get disqualified. That is something huge for these drivers. Stages are going to be 35 laps for stage 1, 35 laps for stage 2, and 10 for the final stage. And the restart order, we're going to have it kind of varied, add a little bit of interest here. For P1 is going to be the stage 1 winner. P2 is going to be stage 2 winner. P3 for the final stage will be stage 1 second place. And P4 will be stage 2 second place. Fifth on back is just however they come out of pit. So a lot going on tonight, Pete.
So much incentive to really make sure that you are the fastest and you're in the front and you're keeping everybody else behind you. This is going to be a phenomenal 80-lap race here at Texas. I'm glad that it's the legacy track version of that. That way it's got that banking in the track, keeps the cars a little bit more snug, as if they didn't already need that, right? But this is going to be this is going to be a great race, and I cannot wait to see who grabs the checkers when it's all said and done. Whoever does, though, Eliza, one thing's for sure, they would have earned it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to have to go over all of our winners here tonight. You see that 20 getting really loose, but I want to bring this break over to Izzy and Jay Soap Company, one of our sponsors out here. They have a soap company that crafts natural handmade soaps, beard balms, and tattoo butters. They are all natural, so they benefit you and your family and also the planet. I know, Pete, you were talking about a scratch that your wife had, and it just healed it up really nice. So if you want to take a look, go out there at www.izzyandjsoap.com and get some soap, beard balms, or tattoo butters.
Yeah, I actually shared that with you and also Izzy for Izzy and Jay's. I've got a 65-pound pit that jumped up to greet my wife when she walked in the house, and he caught her with his claw on her chin. And it's probably about a week and a half ago, and she'd been putting that body butter on that to try to help it heal because she felt that anything else was just keeping it too sloppy, and it just kept on opening up and all that. Not to get too graphic or gross, but she started putting that body butter on there, and it really started to heal very, very nicely. She was so worried about it scarring, and it absolutely looks amazing, and it doesn't look like it will scar. And I'm not, he actually has a disclaimer on the bottom of his page. This stuff isn't meant for medical practices or anything like that or whatever. It's not meant to do this, that, or the other. It's meant to do what it does, and it might maybe kept the scar from her face. But whether you've got oily skin, dry skin, maybe you're very, very proud of that groomed mustache or that beard, or maybe you just went and got spent a whole bunch of money on some brand new ink, go on over izzyandjsoap.com. Look at all of the products that are available, and when you're there, during checkout, Tell them Pete sent you.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm excited to check them out for sure. I've actually checked out their website a couple of times there and plan on ordering something soon from them. But take a look at Steven Maggio. He was one of the driver spotlights tonight, and I do believe that he said that Rivers Jones was going to win the Open, and he did indeed. And Josh Taylor out there, another driver spotlight. So fun to have him out there. Both already in due to their wins. And speaking of wins, let's talk about that from this season. Daytona was Jimmy Cocker to start the season. With Steven Maggio, he won our second race of the season at Phoenix. Matthew Opliger won at Auto Club. Brody Folliker won at Vegas. Josh Taylor won at Bristol. Steven Maggio, he got his second win, our first driver of the season to get 2 wins at Chicago. Daytona Road Course was Matthew Opliger, who won his second race. And Dover was Jimmy Cocker last week. That was his second race also. So our final 3 winners were all double winners.
Steven Maggio, when you were asking him, which drivers, past or present, would you like to meet up with? And the first one he mentioned was Carl Edwards. And wouldn't you know it, he actually brought out the Aflac Duck to race out there on track this evening. Why not carry a little extra Carl Edwards luck in your back pocket for the All-Star race?
Yeah, good catch there. You can see these drivers with their lap times. Let's take a look. Matthew Opliger, he's got a 29.66. Stephen Maggio with a 29.69. Brody Folliker with a 29.70. Connor Cunningham, 29.72. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, 29.73. Pete, I gotta ask, do you know the track temperature? Because I know during practice before the Open, it was 132, which would explain why the track was so loose going into qualifying.
Yep, right now it looks like track temp's right around 109 with an air temp of 88, so it's definitely come down a little bit. And we're looking at sim time right around 20 to 5, quarter to 5 in the afternoon. So sun's starting to set, track's going to cool off a little bit, but these drivers are about to heat it right back up again.
Absolutely. Just a little over 3 minutes left in practice for this All-Star race. Let me know, guys, in chat, who do you think is going to win tonight? Who is your driver? I mean, it is just stacked. It is the All-Star race after all.
Absolutely. You're talking about, Matt Opliger in that number 20, Stephen Maggio as being 2 of the most recent winners. Right now they are 1-2. Brody Falliker, last season's champ. He's P3. Connor Cunningham in that silver. Dale Earnhardt, number 3. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in that 00. Another guy that exudes speed each and every week. Brendan Book right now sitting P6 in that number 5. He was with us for the Open. Joe Berg, another driver that we keep saying, if he just keeps plugging along, you can't finish second forever. He's going to break through and grab that win. Josh Taylor, a win on the season in his deuce. So Jimmy Cocker just jumped up to P6. He won a couple times this season. This whole field is full of all-stars. And yeah, just a little under 3 minutes to go. Man, they're going to be firing off those 6-shooters later on. It's going to be a big party for somebody.
I think another driver we're going to have to look out for a win here tonight is Luke Allen. We've seen him do so well. I just think his win is coming. And Sandy out in chat says, Francis Hamilton, let's give me a Francis Hamilton win. That is another driver, both of these guys. Luke Allen, Francis Hamilton. I'm just really expecting a win from these guys pretty soon this season. It's going to happen. I say it. We talked about Jimmy Cocker last season getting another win, and he definitely got it, and a couple other drivers, and soon enough, it does happen, Pete.
Yeah, talk about Francis Hamilton. The man just actually put down his fastest lap of 29.9. He's about 0.3 off of the leader's time. Matt Opliger or Stephen Maggio, but Francis Hamilton definitely has some speed. There are a few guys here in the 30-second bracket, but speeds are definitely picking up. When you're talking a 29.6 to a 29.8, you're talking 0.2 over the top 10. Very fast crowd.
And draft will play a factor here, of course, and that dirty air will also affect these drivers as they're trying to make their way through. But Joe Berg at 29.66, tied with our leader, Matthew Opliger. So extremely close times for these guys as we are nearing the finish of practice out here. But 80 laps, we have a long race, no cautions, as we will have stage breaks out here. That will be the time where we will catch everyone back up, and that final stage, we will move everyone around based on positions. And don't forget, Pete, they will have to go in and get those 4 tires, stage 1.
Yep, so lap 35, you're going to round out the first stage. Lap 70 will be stage number 2, and then the final 10 laps to crown a champion of the Season 5 All-Star Race live from Texas Motor Speedway. It's going to be a phenomenal night. Hopefully everybody out there that's in chat, you've got your bucket of popcorn, your soda, whatever it is you're drinking. This is going to be a phenomenal race. You're not going to want to miss it. The top 20 from the Shake and Bake iRacing Gen 6 Cup Series about to fire off.
Also, I was thinking, how are these drivers that just raced in the open? I wonder if the track's going to feel any different than it just did. So I'm kind of curious because they are set at different times. We saw a huge decrease in temperature. So as these guys go to qualifying, I'm kind of curious how that will affect them.
I would imagine so. I mean, the cars that were a little free, that might be a little bit freer, but they're going to get tighter on the long run. They were already complaining about them being tight, so we'll have to see. But you know what? These guys can handle whatever is thrown at them. They've proved it week in and week out.
All right, we do have a couple of drivers all the way already out on track for their qualifying lap. Joe Berg is one of the first out with Matthew Gale not too far behind. Josh Taylor, he is on his out lap also. We'll see where these guys end up in the race here for qualifying. But man, I think these lap times are going to be extremely close.
Yeah, well, more smoke for Smoke Racing. Josh Taylor brought out, looks like a brand new paint scheme, kind of throwing it back to another Rusty Wallace throwback. Back when it was the old Miller Lite car. They used to run the MGD colors that the one and only Mike Pop Bear Campbell put together for him. So new scheme for Josh Taylor.
Yeah, looking good out here. Remember, guys, there is no caution out in the race. Stages will be the only cautions we see. So we did add, I do believe, 8 laps. So it'll say, I think, 88 laps, but really the race is 80 as we're not going to have any cautions. So we added a few extra laps for those stages.
All right, so far Joe Berg with the 29.59 is gonna claim that pole spot. Matt Gale right now P2. Josh Taylor goes to 3. Austin Mitty and Mike Pop Bear Campbell also out there on track trying to put up a time. Right now Austin Mitty set P4. Mike Pop Bear Campbell is on his flyer.
A little bit of separation for these guys. I have a feeling as more come out, the times will get a little closer, but about 2/10 separate 1 and 2, and then quite a bit of a gap between 2 and 3. We'll see what these guys do, but Francis Hamilton making his way out. Mike Campbell already out. Matthew Opliger just leaving pit road to make his out lap. See where they end up.
Yeah, I was kind of curious if some of these guys are going to play a game or two with qualifying, but it looks like now with about 2.5 minutes to go, Jarrett Cardwell out, Matt Opliger, as you just said, Jimmy Cocker, he's also on his way out. So more and more are starting to hit up that Q lap, maybe just waiting for that temperature to come down a little bit. When you asked me earlier, I said it was about 109. It has dropped down to about 106 degrees track. So we'll have to see if that 1 or 2 degrees means a whole lot for the fastest lap.
Yeah, it should mean a little bit more grip. We'll see how it handles out here for them, but I don't see a lot of issues for these drivers as they are out. You see Tom Flitcroft making his way out, Jarrett Cardwell, Brendan Book, Jimmy Cocker is now out. We see Brody Folliker. So these guys really waiting a while as we don't have a lot of time left. We're just coming down to under 2 minutes left in qualifying, but most of our drivers have made their way out on track.
Yeah, Joe Berg still holding the top spot. The 11 of Jimmy Cocker just went fast enough for P2. Have to see if his second lap is any faster. Really trying to stay in the throttle as much as he can through turns 1 and 2. Washes out all the way towards the outside wall. Down into turns 3 and 4, getting the left sides as close to the white line as possible on the exit. This could make or break a pole run.
Matthew Opliger had a purple in his lap time here. We'll see if he can bring it in fastest. Not real sure, but Brody Folliker is going to, pretty much tie, but just beat out Joe Berg for that pole position, 29.58 for Folliker and Berg. And we're going to have Jimmy Cocker with a 63. Matthew Opliger still holding out 4th. Connor Cunningham in 5th. Francis Hamilton 6th. Matthew Gale 7th. Josh Taylor 8th. And it looks like Jarrett Cardwell going to move down to 10th as Tom Flitcroft takes over that 3rd spot.
Yeah, great run for Tom Flitcroft. It looks like 11th right now, Mike Papa Bear Campbell with Austin Mitty right behind in 12th. Rivers Jones, Luke Allen, and Brendan Book so far the top 15. Few more yet to take time. Eliza, they got to get it done sooner, not get it done at all.
Yeah, just coming up to 10 seconds to go in qualifying. Stephen Maggio still out there. Micah Allard makes his way out on track. No lap time for him. 18 cars currently on track, so we are missing a couple. It looks like 18 will take to the grid tonight.
All right, speaking of the grid, might as well get that set, get that ready, see who's going to fire off first and who's going to be trying to race their way through the field in this 80-lap event.
Yeah, it looks like last season's champ, Brody Folliker. He's going to be on pole position in that 42 machine with Joe Berg to his outside, another driver to look out for sure. In row 2, we're going to have Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in that 00 with Tom Flitcroft in the 8. In row 3, we're going to have Jimmy Cocker in the 11 with Matthew Opliger in that 20. Row 4 is going to be Connor Cunningham in the 3 with Rivers Jones in the 91. With row 5 holding Brendan Book in that 5 machine with Luke Allen in that 7 to his outside.
The 11 looks like Francis Hamilton in that 48 with Matt Gale in his 67 to round out row number 6. Row 7 looks like it's going to be, hold on. Yeah, okay, it just threw me off for a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, Josh Taylor in the deuce with Jarrett Cardwell in the 12 for P14. P15, Mike Papa Bear Campbell in that number 71 who wins the fan vote this evening, as well as Austin Mitty in the 9. P16, P17 is going to be Stephen Maggio in that 51. Last but not least, the 61 of Micah Allard. So an 18-car star-studded field ready to fire off here at Texas for the All-Star race. Let's go, Eliza.
Yeah, I am so excited to see what these guys can do. I would not be surprised to see a little chaos, though. There are no cautions. So if these guys do wreck out, the best thing to do is try to repair it as fast as you can. Get back out there and hopefully get a lap back. But coming to stage 3, if you are not on that lead lap and you finished in the top spots for stage 1 and 2, you are not getting that spot for the final stage. So it is imperative to remain on that lead lap.
Absolutely. It's gonna be interesting to see how this all works out. Again, no cautions. You've got to make sure that these guys, it looks like 93 and 42, a little bit of an issue here. 93, I'm going to guess there's a little bit of an issue with his wheel. Forces the 42 all the way down and around. Something's going on.
Yeah, I don't know that is supposed to happen. Everyone is wrecking everyone, so I assume something did not go right.
Yeah, it looks like Connor Cunningham had an issue. The 7 of Luke Allen looks like Jimmy Cocker is back there as well. This 00. Not quite sure what's going on here.
Hey,
Yeah.
we have to restart the session.
Okay.
There's only one set of tires.
Oh, that won't work.
Okay.
Okay. God dang it. Of course, we can't figure that out until we get to the race.
Do you need where they started?
I'm just gonna have to make them requalify. I think that's like the easiest option. What do you think?
Boss, with that, go for it.
Okay.
Green.
Oh, they're
That'll-
on
that'll-
green. Let's see. Joe Berg is going to win it tonight.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought maybe for a second that the outside line, like maybe his wheel broke or something was happening. We've definitely seen that before with a few drivers in a couple different leagues. So, well, I'm glad that wasn't some kind of an issue with iRacing or somebody's equipment, we're going to be able to restart it all and rack and stack them all back up again, Eliza.
I was kind of curious if there was some kind of crazy beef going on with that 42 and whoever else is in there. They're going side by side right now, Joe Berg, and we got a little chaos happening out here with that FIWB team.
Well, let them get it all out of their system now, because when it's all on the line, you don't want to have any issues.
And there's just so many settings on iRacing that you have to get right. Meteor hit the track, race is canceled. Belay says minor issue. Jamie Wright says only put one tire set, so we'll get that back up and running. But hey, Francis Hamilton leading the field here on lap 4 of 88.
How about Mike Campbell, even in this practice session, going quickest with a 29.92? Good job, Mike.
Very nice, very nice. All right, chat. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Let us know who's your driver for tonight. We'll be restarting the session. We'll join the next one, but it's gonna be a wild, wild show. I'm kind of curious if we will keep the same pole winner.
It'll
Very
be interesting
to see.
Yeah, it really will. I mean, it's getting a little bit later in the day. Track right now down to 103. If it continues to follow suit, we might see track temps now down to 102. We might see track temps, down below 100. I mean, we could be looking at some phenomenal grip out here, which will lead to something completely different as far as tire wear goes. It'll absolutely shred them at night.
Yeah, absolutely. AK Big Boy says, is Justin in this race? Unfortunately, he is not. We're missing him out here for sure. My money is on Upliger. He should be fast. Gail, I don't know a race where he's not fast, so I'm with you on that. Polish says, good evening, Eliza and Pete. Hope you guys are doing great. Excited to see some great racing. Can't wait to be out there full time in just 4 weeks.
Amazing.
It'll be fun for sure. Go ahead, Brendan.
What? I wasn't saying nothing.
Oh, I thought you said something. Never mind.
No.
If I'm not mistaken, Polish has actually run a race or two already this season.
He did.
Yeah, so he should be up to speed. If he's kept up with the races when possible, and he'll have a pretty good idea of what to expect. So we'll see how that goes. Definitely looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, I'm just verifying session now.
Pulling from my guy,
One job,
Jarrett
Brendan.
Cardwell. Yeah, I'm excited he made it in.
Someone could have checked it for me.
Hey, I caught the other thing, right? I was good for something.
Yeah.
All these
I
details.
thought it was good. I thought it was good, and I'm mad that it wasn't. Because I was ready to go and get it over
Combat.
with.
You had one job. I know. There's so many little things. I'm telling you. Just be glad I'm not making it, because everything would be wrong. I'm not.
But you know what? I got to give Brendan and you and all the other admins a lot of credit after seeing all the conversation and all the thought and time that went into putting this race and all the nuances of this race together. One mistake doesn't mean anything at all. This is setting up to be a great race, and I'm glad to be part of it. And I'm sure everybody that's out on track can't wait for it to fire off green either. Either way, Brandon, definitely appreciate everything that you do for Shake and Bake.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I'm going back down to my chat.
Well, fine, get out of here. Go, bye.
He's like, okay.
I tried to pay him a compliment.
I'm sorry, I was like zoned out, like trying to figure everything out.
Did you make it yet, or are you still working on it?
Yeah, I made it. I made it. It should be
Alright.
launching. I put
Right.
launch now, and God, I hope nothing's wrong with it.
I'm sure we'll see cars go chaotic if there is.
Because I only have 11 cents left in my balance, so I'll
Oh,
have to money to it.
jeez. Yeah, you
Making-
know.
Rosen's making me go broke.
I know. You're welcome. Polish says, Pete, I raced Auto Club and was running inside the top 10 and 15 most of the race, and then he got taken out. It happens. Gail says it's easy to do. Spent last Saturday panicking about settings looking wrong
Hey,
when we
session's
loaded
up.
into the session. It looked wrong, but it was just iRacing. All right, we're going to go ahead and join this next one. Keeping us busy. We're hopping around like
Good luck.
hot
Have fun,
potatoes.
guys.
You too, Brendan. Take it easy.
Thanks.
Man, we got, I don't even know which one to join. Oh, that one's closed, so I can't join that one. That would make sense. We'll get it here.
Yep.
It says unavailable. That's very sad. I might have joined the wrong one. Not really sure. Oh wait, I gotta unjoin this one.
Yeah. I'm clicking away.
Hopefully I didn't do something bad. Let's try this again. 54. What? Okay. Oh my goodness. Spectate. We'll get these guys going. We have several drivers already in. Thanks for hanging in there with us. All-Star race. It's getting wild out here already. The race hasn't even started.
Right? Right? Boy, and they say NASCAR rigs it. I think I think Brendan Book rigged. No, I'm like it.
Yeah, he totally rigged it to try to get that pole again. He's gonna kill me. All right, David, congratulations on your news again. Find your pre-race fan experience badge for Bristol. Yes, definitely go find that. That would be good. Still loading, Pete.
Yeah, me too. Loading in right now. It looks like most of the drivers are already in. I'm going to reset all of the broadcast software, get everything back up and rolling just to make sure there's no hiccups. And when it's time to catch these guys, put on the show they're about to put on, we're all ready to bring it all out there.
All right, another practice. Seen a lot of practice. They've had all of the practice. Joe Berg out there, Josh Taylor, Francis Hamilton, Rivers Jones, Hunter Cunningham, and Luke Allen. Next week,
Yeah.
I want to take a look at where we are next week. You think I would know this, but have a look here.
I actually think I looked at it last night, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah. We're at Pocono.
Okay, Tricky Triangle.
Tricky Triangle. It's going to be a fun one. I raced there last week in the trucks. I know it's a little different, but definitely a fun track. And then we're going to be headed to Kansas, April 14th. Then Iowa for April 21st. Should be a fun few weeks.
Yes, it will. It'll be interesting to get going in the rest of the schedule. iRacing has just recently gone through and updated or rescanned a lot of tracks, and from what I hear, there's some pretty big differences. It'll be great to see what this is all like in this Gen 6 car as the season rolls on now. With all those updates. For example, I heard Bristol, the victory lane at Bristol is actually now visible in iRacing, so you can actually go and celebrate right where you're supposed to. Just one of the little things, but a lot of people consider this to be as lifelike as you could possibly get it. Some people will call it a game. Some people argue the sim. Well, it's getting better and better every single day, every single race, and we're about to go back queuing again.
Yeah, here we go for lone qualifying, and yeah, they did make a lot of changes, and I know last week at Dover when Jimmy Cocker won, he also does the photos for SnB. I don't know how he does it, but he does an amazing job, and he also won the race. So he sent me an awesome shot of him in victory lane at Dover. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So all these guys getting back out there right now, Austin Mitty, Joe Berg, Josh Taylor, Matt Gale are going to be the first ones to hit the track. Again, that a more smoke scheme. There is that Bill Elliott Coors number 9. A lot of these guys, we're not quite throwback week, but some people absolutely bringing it back.
Joe Berg out there, Micah Allard. And, We talked to Joe Berg. He was one of our driver spotlights, and he's got the scoreboard on his car.
Yep.
If you have not visited him, he's out there on YouTube talking about all things sports, does a phenomenal job. Really, really fun to talk to, so be sure to go visit him out there.
Yeah, I think the last time we caught him, he was with the one and only William Byron, if I'm not mistaken. So that was absolutely really cool. Yeah, every single week, has his own radio show. Absolutely great to hear the content and keep up with the world of racing.
A lot of drivers choosing to not go out just yet. We saw that in the last qualifying round. I think obviously they feel like the track is going to be a little bit quicker, waiting for that temp. And we have Matthew Gale out there, 30-22, and Josh Taylor going to pass him up. He was driver spotlight tonight. He's going to take over that pole for now. Micah Allard, he is out there making his lap. Matthew Opliger, Jimmy Cocker, Joe Berg, Tom Flitcroft flies to the top of the board with a 30.05.
I tell you what, we were talking about temps and the time of the day and all that. Well, it's time has gone backwards, Eliza. Now it's almost little after quarter after 3 in the afternoon, and 124 degrees on track. Earlier, we saw a ton of cars in the sub 30 second realm. Well, right now, Joe Berg in that 00 just posted the fastest time of a 30.03. I wonder if we're starting to see the effects of the hotter temperatures, because we're starting to see some slower speeds.
Oh, I absolutely think so. For sure. Gale Force, he is out here on track. Matthew Gale, he says track temp about 20 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than the last session. And he is absolutely right. About 20 degrees hotter. And that is going to affect the handling and what lap times these drivers are able to get. But Matthew Opliger, a 30 flat. Joe Berg, P2 currently. Jimmy Cocker in third. Tom Flitcroft, fourth. Josh Taylor, 5th. Matthew Gale, 6th. Micah Allard in 7th. And Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he's out there trying to get his lap time in, along with Brody Folliker, Brennan Book, Luke Allen, Francis Hamilton, Connor Cunningham, and Stephen Maggio.
Yeah, so I think the poll on attempt number 1, we'll say, was a 66, 29.6, almost the 7. So it'll be interesting to see if the 42 of where'd he go? I just had him. There he is, Brody Falker.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. Okay, so Brody Falker put it P4 right now with a 30.05. Matt Opliger still the fastest man in Texas.
I mean, it is an 80-lap race, but I'm kind of curious, considering they did already qualify. How happy or unhappy are the drivers, considering they have to re-qualify here tonight? 80-lap race, not going to affect you in the long run too much, I wouldn't think, but there are no cautions. Connor Cunningham losing it in qualifying, absolutely slideways, trying to come around, and he is still going sideways, and he makes his way onto pit lane, going a little too fast.
Yeah, Connor Cunningham trying to get all he could out of that good wrench number 3, but just wasn't enough grip for that car to hold the track on the high side. I think he tried to maybe turn it in after a whole lot of momentum coming down the backstretch as we switch on over to the 48 Detroit Tigers machine. And right now he's coming through the trial trying to grab his spot.
Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, P8, Micah Allard, and qualifying is over. So we're going to go ahead and head on over to the grid where Matthew Opliger is going to be on pole before we start the race.
There you go. So yeah, Matt Opliger in that number 20, gonna claim that P1 spot. Joe Berg right now, P number 2. Jimmy Cocker in that 11, sitting P3. Brody Falliker in that 42, P4. P5, Connor Cunningham, all kinds of slideways, sitting P5. P6, Tom Flitcroft in that number 8. P7 is going to be Francis Hamilton in the 48. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in that 8 spot. P9 is going to be Josh Taylor in the deuce. Matt Gale to his outside in the 67.
Micah Allard is going to be in the 11th spot with Luke Allen in 12th. 13th, it is going to be Stephen Maggio with 14th, Brendan Book. 15th is going to be Rivers Jones with Jarrett Cardwell, P16. 17th is going to be Mike Campbell Jr. with Austin Mitty to his outside. So that is your all-star field this time around in qualifying. Again, it's going to be a fun one, and hopefully we don't see any chaos. And the lobby settings are good. Silent, thank you so much for the sub. Happy 10 months. Thank you so much for coming out here and saying hello, and thank you so much for the sub. We're missing playing NASCAR Heat. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer taking a little detour, backing up as they're waiting to start.
You know, it just kind of came back to me a long time ago. I think it was Daytona or Talladega. Actually, no, I think it was Daytona. The beginning of the season, Jimmy Johnson started on the outside. Mark Martin started on the inside. Something happened with Jimmy Johnson's wheel as he was swerving back and forth. His wheel locked or came disconnected or something like that, and went straight into Mark Martin, forcing them both into the inside wall at Daytona. What a way to kick off the season. Very, very reminiscent of what just happened before this restart. But 20 car is going to go ahead and fire it off. 93 of Joe Berg to his outside. Eliza, we're warming him up. But this race is going to go by in a hurry. Again, a star-studded field.
35 laps for stage 1, and they will have to make a 4-tire change in pit lane for stage 1. So this is going to be a wild one. It really, really is imperative that you stay on that lead lap. We'll see how it goes, but we're ready to go green here for 80 laps here in the All-Star race at Texas Motor Speedway. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're getting ready to go green.
Absolutely. These guys getting ready to fire off. Pace car is going to go ahead and make that hard left down the banking towards pit road. The 20 is a control car. Green flag is going to be up. Let's go racing.
Here we go, already off to a good start. 2 wide all the way through. Matthew Opliger leading the way here. And he's got Joe Berg to his outside. 2 wide still all the way through. Matthew Gale in that 67 going to fall back a little bit. And we're going to see him continue to fall as they are 3 wide in the back.
Yeah, 3 wide in the back, up front, 20 down low, 93. Both of those front drivers got a big old push from Team FIWB. Teammates as the 42 and 11 almost make some contact. The 11 has to check up just a little bit and has to give the spot to the 42.
Yeah, huge wiggle as he was trying to stay off the other cars around him. A wild race. The 3 car looks like he is struggling with his handling. Car's going to dive down low to try to hold on to it. 3 and 4 wide, almost 5. We were 4 wide just a second ago. These guys already off to a wild start. Lap 2.
Yeah, great job. Great track awareness by every single one of the drivers. Way to listen to their spotters to get through all that. Back double file for the most part. That's going to allow a few of the guys up front to kind of get a little bit of a gap. But Matt Opliger on lap number 2 going shake and bake purple with a 30.33.
Season 4 champ is taking a look on the inside. That's going to be none other than Brody Folliker, unable to make that spot as he is trying to take it low, but does not have enough momentum. He's got some help moving up behind him, and that's going to be FIWB teammates of Francis Hamilton and Jimmy Cocker. We'll see if they're able to help him. But remember, it's the All-Star race. They're going for position 2. Man, it looks like Jimmy Cocker into the wall, and his teammate is going to fan out. These guys a little bit of trouble coming off of 2.
Yeah, the 48 had to back out of it. That allowed the 8 of Tom Clickcroft as well as the 51 of Steve Maggio to get on by. Here comes the 00 of John Jurgensmeyer on the bottom. Also, Connor Cunningham looks like he's got that GM Goodwrench machine a little bit more dialed in. He's still a little loose right now, holding on to P8, 3 spots back from where he originally started.
More contact, it looked like, coming off of 2. That's going to be a trouble spot you're going to have to watch out for with these drivers. That wall comes up very quickly at a 2 as it is extremely tight. And you can see that 42 is just all over Matthew Opliger, putting the pressure on him, giving a push, trying to get out there. He's going to take that high side, but he's going to need some help on that high side. The 11 is going to take it up a little higher than that. I don't know how much draft he's going to get, but here comes the help.
Wow. Look at that 42 side draft to 20, so much so, and he kept him pinched down in the corner so much so he was able to take that high side momentum and just completely rocket by as the 11 and 20 almost make a little bit of contact, testing out that whole 8 tires are better than 4. The 11 now pulling to the inside of the 20, going into 1 and 2. The 51 of Maggio making some big strides right now, up 9 spots to P number 4.
WB teammates were helping each other, taking that low side. The 11 going to tuck back in behind Matthew Opliger. Single file line for the most part, but that 51 machine says, I got places to go. And it's to the front, gaining 9 spots. He's going to take it 2 wide with the 11 of Jimmy Cocker. The 8 going to be right behind, giving him a push up to the front.
Yeah, Tom Flickroft bringing the 00 of Jurgensmeyer right with him. And again, Connor Cunningham still holding on in that number 3. Francis Hamilton, who I believe it was Sandy out there in chat, says let's pull for a Francis Hamilton win. Rivers Jones in that 91, who won the Open, right now is 6 spots up as well. Right now, solidly inside the top 10, running P9, and the deuce of Josh Taylor right there as well to round out the top 10.
Rivers Jones playing it patient right here, just taking a look at what's going on ahead of him. Not a bad spot to be in, right behind this front group right here. He has time to react if any chaos happens, but you can see he might be getting in on this action, going below that 00, and you see that 48 on that high side. Rivers Jones, we'll see him make his way up through. He did win the race here for the Open. That locked him in for the All-Star race.
Yeah, 91 now has that 002 his outside, 3 on the bottom, 48 up high. Way different lines. Josh Taylor right now watching everything that's going on just ahead of him. And Brendan Book, he's got the 61 of Micah Allard. Micah Allard down 1 spot after qualifying. And then Luke Allen in that number 7 Bass Pro machine back there as well. The number 9 Coors machine of Austin Mitty up 4 spots. This is a short field, but Eliza, the racing so far has been amazing.
Yeah, these guys, a little bit of contact, but man, I'll tell you what, when it goes to knowing your surroundings and knowing what you got to do, these guys are on top of it. This is why these guys are in the All-Star race. A ton of talent out here and just doing a phenomenal job. Meanwhile, Brody leaving a little bit of a gap over second of Matthew Opliger and another gap between him and third of Tom Flitcroft. Let's take a look, though. We have 3 wide, the 48, the 11, and the 00. We're going to have that 3 coming up underneath, and he is going to take it 3 wide for that spot.
Yeah, Jimmy Cocker getting a little loose, has to kind of kick it up track just a little bit, pulling up behind the 48. Jurgensmeyer, he's going to go ahead and take a high line spot as well. 91 going to pull up behind the 11. A 4-car train up on the high side, 3 wide, 48, 11, 3 on the bottom.
These guys are not being shy for position, and it looks like Jimmy Cocker, he's going to lose out on a couple of spots. I'm not sure he's liking the handling of his car currently. Remember, we're on lap 13. We have to make a pit stop as they're 3 wide going into the corner once again, but they have to make a pit stop at least 1 time in stage 1. 4 tires. We'll see when they choose to do it, but man, that's probably the furthest thing on their mind.
I tell you what would have been really cool with all this was for qualifying to go down pit road as fast as you can, like they used to do in the old days for the All-Star race. Grab 4 tires, get back out, see who did it the quickest. Maybe something like that for a future edition of the All-Star race. But man, this racing for about what is this? 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. This really is the Hornet's Nest.
It sure is. Not a spot you want to be in as they're trying to battle for a position, but these front drivers, a lot of separation, but this backpack all over each other, and Jimmy Cocker 8th, Rivers Jones 9th, Joe Berg in 10th, and it looks like we do have some takers for pit lane. Matthew Gale, Mike Papa Bear Campbell make their way into pit lane. It is mandatory for stage 1.
Yeah, those guys right now, 16th and 17th. Josh Taylor back there in the 2 as well. Not quite sure if something happened with the deuce or what. Actually, no, Josh Taylor went in on lap 11, so he got his pit done very, very early. Grabbed 4 brand new Eagle Field Goods, going to try to gain some track position while everybody else up front continues the battle.
Yeah, it's a hard strategy to call because there's so much draft that goes into this track.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you have a partner. If I'm out there, I want a partner to go in with and come out with. If you don't have that, I'm just afraid of losing too much time. So we'll see how it plays out in the end. But the drivers that did go in, Josh Taylor, Matthew Gale, and Mike Campbell, they are a lap down. Luke Allen goes in, Rivers Jones, they have made their way in. And you can see Luke coming out, the 91. He is coming out also, so they will be paired together.
Yeah, Matt Oplinger also went in solo. It's going to put him right now P13, but of course he will get leapfrogged as everybody else that's been on new tires for a little while will get on by. The next one, or the first one to pass him, I should say, should be the deuce of Josh Taylor. Meanwhile, up front, Brody Falliker and the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, here they come down pit road carrying all kinds of time. Both of them able to hit that line, and man, very, very competitive right there.
A little worried for Tom Flitcroft. A lot of speed coming into pit road. We'll see if he gets a penalty for that. But Micah Allard, he is on his way in also. So that's 3 drivers. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it up there with these 2. We'll see what happens, though, and time will tell if any one of them gets a penalty.
With all that, the 51 of Steven Maggio inherited the lead. He's going to come down pit road solo now, handing the lead over to the 00 of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Connor Cunningham, P2. Brendan Book, 3rd. Joe Berg, 4th. And Jimmy Cocker right now in that Virginia Tech number 11 to round out the top 5. The 51 hitting his pit stall just now.
51 in, and we're going to see Brody Falliker. He is out along with Matthew Gale. You see him still out there. Tom Flitcroft, he is out there on track. A little bit of separation between Tom Flitcroft and Brody, who went in at the same time. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he is our current leader. Connor Cunningham in 2nd. A lot of takers for pit lane. Britton Book, Jimmy Cocker, Jarrett Cardwell. These guys all go in together.
Yeah, that's going to leave Jonathan Jurgensmeyer as the leader. Connor Cunningham still up there. Joe Berg, Austin Mitty, and Francis Hamilton. So that means that when all is said and done, Josh Taylor in the deuce, he may actually become the new leader as everybody cycles through, depending on how long it takes for these guys to get in and get out, as Connor Cunningham now takes the lead. Jurgensmeyer and Mitty on pit road.
Yeah, so much switching of positions as these guys are getting the required stop out of the way. Only a few remain that have not gone in. Joe Berg being one of them, Francis Hamilton, and of course our leader, Connor Cunningham. Those are the only 3 left, I do believe, that have to go in. Josh Taylor has already gone in, and it looks like he's out there P6. We'll see when Connor Cunningham decides to go in.
Now, Connor Cunningham has been fighting an evilly loose, if that is such a word, evilly loose car for the first part of this race, for the first 22 laps. You know, getting closer and closer to that lap 35 stage. He's going to have to come down at some point. If I'm him, I'm thinking about what brake bias adjustments I want to make as I got to get down to pit road. This dance, getting onto pit road, carrying max speed all the way to your pit stall, not shorting your box, not going too far to where you got to back up or pull forward, and then getting a great launch out of your box is very, very important, especially here in the All-Star race.
Lap 35 at the conclusion, the stage will break and the caution will come out. The race is 80 laps. We gave it 4 extra laps per stage break. So 4 to stage 1 and 4 to stage 2. Connor Cunningham looked like he was trying to come in, did not go in. He stays out once again. And Joe Berg going to be in 2nd, Francis Hamilton in 3rd, and a lot of these drivers making their way onto the lead lap all the way up to P10.
Yeah, Joe Berg's been kind of holding steady right there with the same times as Connor Cunningham. Right now about 1.6, 1.7 back from the number 3. Francis Hamilton. He's got about a 5-second gap up to the leader, Brody Falliker, almost 27 seconds, and then Josh Taylor almost 29. So that battle for P1 is going to be very, very tight once the remaining 2 cars come on down pit road.
Josh Taylor with the oldest tires out here in the top few spots, so I'm kind of curious. Lap time falls off quite a bit here pretty quickly, so I'm kind of curious when they even out. But man, we have a gaggle of cars out here with Josh Taylor in P8. We have the 8 down below. That's going to be Tom Flitcroft. We have Steven Maggio, the 91, the 20. So quite a few cars in this group.
Yeah, quite a few. The 8 of Tom Flitcroft, the deuce of Josh Taylor. Looking ahead of Josh Taylor, you see Matt Oplinger, the 51 of Maggio.
Ooh.
Right now they're side by side, and the 8 with a huge run, taking it up the inside.
Yeah, these two were just leaning on each other. That was Matthew Oplinger and Maggio. So leaning on top of each other, the 8 just going to take advantage of these two battling it out, and he's going to dive it underneath. Not able to make it past the 20 yet, but the 51 is going to take it in front of that 2091. Looks like he's just on that inside, just trying to hold on to it, doing a solid job as he sits P7.
Yeah, the 20 of Oplinger kind of pinching that 91 down. We saw that earlier when he was the recipient as the 42 went on by. Well, that time he kind of pulled the 91 back and propelled himself forward, and the 8 of Tom Flitcroft saw all that happen. He's all over the back end of that 20 as they come across the start stripe. 27 laps.
Connor Cunningham on his way into pit lane. Joe Berg, we'll see if he, did he already go in? Let's take a look
Nope,
here.
not yet.
Yeah,
Not yet.
our top 3 did not go in. And it looks like Connor Cunningham going to be coming out shortly here. But Brody Falliker, 20 seconds behind almost. And Steven Maggio will be P2 once this all switches out here. Matthew Oplinger in 6 currently, Tom Flitcroft. And moving up to 6, Rivers Jones 7th, Matthew Gale 8th, Josh Taylor 9th, and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is going to be 10th.
Yeah, 11th right now is going to be Brendan Book with Micah Allard right behind him in P12. Luke Allen is 13th. 14th is going to be Jimmy Cocker. Jarrett Cardwell back in 15th. Mike Popavere Campbell 16th. 17th is going to be Connor Cunningham, and then Austin Mitty for P18. Joe Berg still in that number 93 scoreboard machine, yet to come on down pit road. Right behind him, Francis Hamilton running second in that Detroit Tigers number 48. Those are the last 2 to make their green flag pit stop. When they do, Brody Falliker in that 42 should be able to pull ahead, take the lead with Steven Maggio at the time will be running second.
It's going to be tough because these guys, they had no draft with anyone. They're out there by themselves. And if you want to get a guaranteed spot in the 3rd stage, you have to finish up here up front. So this is a tough call. Joe Berg and Francis Hamilton are going to go in by themselves. And we only have a few laps remaining in stage 1. A different strategy. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I would say maybe they're going to wait until lap 34, take lap 35 on pit road. Don't know if that's allowed, but right now they would have a good 17 seconds back to Falliker. Do they try to stretch it out a little bit or keep the same pace and maybe take lap 35 as they come across the start stripe on pit road? I don't know. That would be an amazing play.
Yeah, it very well could be. I mean, maybe they just want to take their tires right at the very end. There's no, I don't think, rule against it technically. So great little strategy on the rules then, if that's the case, and they'll try to stay out for the next 35 laps. We'll see how the tires hold, because I think the remainder of these drivers, I'm kind of curious, are they going to go in and take another set, or are they going to stay out?
I guess we're about to find out. They're both coming to lap 33 here momentarily. Again, the stage break is lap 35, then again at 70, and then a final 10-lap shootout in the great state of Texas coming up to wrap up this evening. But so far, I mean, on the track map, it seems like the most of the cars are between exit of turn 4 and the start stripe. there's a few, including our current leader, on the backstretch now going through turns 3 and 4. So the 93 Joe Berg continues to lead. Connor Cunningham, you see him behind him, but that is not a battle for position. That's actually the 3 of Connor, I believe, getting his lap back. Francis Hamilton right now running P2, a good 2.5, almost 3 seconds behind.
Brody Folliker has closed that gap by about 4 seconds, but Joe Berg, Francis Hamilton are going to have to go in pretty soon here. I'm a little curious when they're going to make their way on in, and it looks like it might be this time. Yeah,
there it
looks like
is.
He's trying
Yep.
to get it woed down. Is it going to be in time enough to woe that thing all the way down? Francis Hamilton going to follow him in as we make our way to lap 35. And at the conclusion of 35, it will be the end of stage 1.
Yeah, and it looks like Joe Berg all the way to his pit. I believe he will actually complete lap 35, coming across the start stripe to his stall. What a great strategy. I don't know if Francis Hamilton was able to complete the same thing before the 42 passed him, but what a way to go.
Yeah, very interesting strategy call. Brody Folliker, he is out here in the lead as we're coming up to the final part of stage 1. He is going to finish stage 1 in first. So that means he is a guaranteed spot in stage 3 so long as he remains on the lead lap.
Good job, bud. Tell me what you got quickly.
All right, Eliza, the stage caution is out. Brody Folliker able to lead the way. Stephen Maggio P2, Jurgensmeyer P3, Tom Flitcroft P number 4, Matt Oblinger 5th, Brendan Book 6th, Rivers Jones in that 91 after winning the Open comes home 7th. 8th, Jimmy Cochran. 9th is going to be Micah Allard. And then to round out the top 10 is going to be Josh Taylor in the deuce.
Jarrett Cardwell going to be in 11th with Matthew Gale in 12th. Luke Allen going to be 13th with Connor Cunningham in 14th. 15th is going to be Austin Mitty with 16th Mike Papa Bear Campbell. 17th going to be Joe Berg. 18th Francis Hamilton.
What a set of varying strategies all the way through. Josh Taylor went down on lap 11 very, very early. He liked what he saw in the green flag run. These guys just went green flag all the way through. I know there's no cautions anyway, but it was a great race all the way so far.
Right, no mayhem. You didn't see any cars completely dying out there. So just great driving all the way around. We're going to see who, if anyone, makes their way in. I guarantee Joe Berg and Francis Hamilton, freshest tires out there. I don't think they're going to be making a stop this time, Pete.
I don't know. Here comes the 51 leading a whole line. Brody Fowler's got to feel like the most alone driver as everybody except for Francis Hamilton and Joe Berg, who just went down pit road, join him. So Brody Fowler was last on pit road, lap 17. Joe Berg, Francis Hamilton, we saw them go down on 34, coming to 35, which brought out the stage break. But I'm guessing Brody either missed pit road being open, or maybe he just feels really, really good about the set that he has, and maybe he'll get to the middle of the next stage, then bring it on down again.
Should we have a chat with him? Let's get
Sure,
him in the
let's go.
booth here. And Brody, it's Eliza in the booth. How you doing out there?
Doing all right. Got that stage win.
You got that stage win, so a guaranteed spot as long as you remain on the lead lap here for stage 3. Strategy-wise, what's going on? You see everyone behind you going in. Are you ready for that, or was that something you weren't expecting?
Well, hold on. Can I get an EOL, please? Well, I was thinking it was going to let me pit the next time, but I just...
Gotcha. All right, well, we'll see how this strategy plays out. I don't want to bug you. I know you're doing EOLs and all that, but, man, you're looking solid out there currently, and it's been a fun race, so I wish you a ton of luck going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very focused.
All right, there you heard it from Brody Folliker. He's just,
Yeah.
He
You know,
is, yeah.
I wish I had an amazing stat like whoever won the All-Star race in the previous 4 seasons. You know, 2 of the 4 went on to win the championship or something like that. But unfortunately, I don't have that. But it would have been great to see if something like that was some kind of a thing in the previous seasons. But that 42 has been bad fast. And 93, Joe Berg, who just went down pit road on 34. Francis Hamilton again right behind him. Steven Maggio on the newest tires on lap 37. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer right with him. I imagine that we're going to see some high line passing pretty quick here, Eliza.
I'm a little worried about Brody, though. Not going in. He's got some older tires, the remainder of the field. But Joe Berg, Francis Hamilton, I like their strategy call that they played. And here we go, getting ready to go to stage 2 as a restart happens. And these drivers, man, on top of each other. What a great restart for these guys. No one giving up any spots, but that high side, Brody's going to take it super high. You're going to see the remainder of the field going down low. Brody going to fall back. Oh, contact the 12 and the 61.
At 12 and 61, make a little bit of contact in the back. That's going to be Jarrett Cardwell and the 61 of Micah Allard. Looks like both able to recover. The 61 able to keep up with the deuce of Josh Taylor. You see the 7 and the 9 and more behind. But Eliza, again, no cautions under green flag racing. We're going to keep going.
Cardwell, 16th. Brody, he asked for an EOL earlier. He's going to be 17th. Mike Papa Bear Campbell in 18th. And Jamie Wright says, how was that not a choose cone violation? That is something for our admins to take a look at. I did not catch it, unfortunately, but Francis Hamilton in the lead. We're going to have Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. He's going to be P2. Matthew Opliger side by side for P3 with Joe Berg.
Yeah, Joe Berg trying to keep that car all the way on the bottom. Opliger, again, keeping the 93 pinch, and look at the run that he gets up and off the corner. Again, taking the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, old Tom Flitty with him. Here comes the 11, the 51, 93 making contact. The 51 backs up, 93 able to reconcile as the 5 of Brendan Book now all over the back end of that Aflac machine.
On board with Jimmy Cocker, you can see him taking that middle line. He's going to be coming up on that 8 machine directly in front of him. You just take a look all over that wheel. The 8 looks like he made some contact with that wall. Just gets extremely tight coming out of that corner. Very, very difficult. A lot of drivers having issues coming out of that turn 2. But here we go into the next corner coming out. The 11 and the 20 going to be 2 wide. The 93 right behind. Rivers Jones in that 91 coming up underneath Joe Berg with that 51 right in tow.
Yeah, that 91 again, very, very fast. He proved it in the open, staying right behind the 20 of Opliger. Behind him, you see the 51 Aflac machine of Steven Maggio. Josh Taylor, our 2 driver profile drivers that we spoke with earlier in the broadcast. The 5 of Brendan Book, who joined us in the booth for a little bit. So right now, those guys running nose to tail out there on track behind Brendan Book. It looks like it's Micah Allard who's mixing it up just a little bit a lap or 2 ago.
Connor Cunningham, 12th. Luke Allen, 13th. Jarrett Cardwell, contact earlier on. He's going to be in 14th. Matthew Gale, 15th. Austin Mitty, 16th. Brody Folliker in 17th. And Mike Papa Bear Campbell right behind in 18th. Meanwhile, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer leading the field, blinking out. So we're going to go on board with Francis Hamilton so we can keep on board with these guys, who is currently P2. Gotcha. Sorry, gotcha. I see you out there. He says, hello, broadcasters. How has it been at the halfway mark? An exciting race, all-star race here tonight. A lot of talented drivers going for that win.
You know, if you're the 42 Brody Falliker if you caught it earlier and you saw Josh Taylor go down on lap 11 and was able to rebound or stay, I believe, inside the top 10 for the finish, do you go down pit road early, get those brand new Eagle feel goods, come on back out, carry as much speed as you can on I would imagine would be a mostly open track and try to gain what you can, or do you stay back there and see who goes down pit road a little bit later on?
I'm doing whatever keeps me on the lead lap. I don't care what it is, as long as I'm on the lead lap. He finished out there first for stage 1, and if he wants to hold on to that, he's got to remain on the lead lap. So pitting right now, it could be disastrous if these other guys stay out. It's only 35 laps for the second stage. You just got to stay on the lead lap. But, man, a lot of these drivers making some contact coming out of 2. We see it time and time again, but Jonathan Jurgensmeyer had a nice little lead. Tom Flitcroft has since closed that gap up, trying to take the high side, but not enough momentum.
No, not enough momentum up there. I'm going to go ahead and pull right in front of the 48 of Francis Hamilton. Back a little bit between the two, the 93, 51, and 61. These guys still side by side, 93 up top. The two's going to get a little bit of an air push from the 61, 51 right behind 93. Josh Taylor not quite clear coming up off the corner, coming through the tri-oval, still side by side.
Quite the group of cars here with Joe Berg leading. You can see he's leaving a little bit of gap as the 2 and the 51 are still battling it out for a P8, and then a group of 3 cars back here trying to see who that is. It looks like Luke Allen is leading that. Jarrett Cardwell in 14th, Matthew Gale in 15th.
Yeah, Jarrett Cardwell showed a lot of speed in the open, very, very fast. Was able to finish P2, so was able to advance into the All-Star race. The 67 of Matt Gale, just with him, Austin Mitty, Brody Falliker, and Mike Pop Bear Campbell round out all 18 cars. Mike Pop Bear Campbell winning the fan vote this evening dominantly, must have been, with over 110 votes total for everyone within this league. That is, and I mentioned this very, very early when we got to the booth tonight, Eliza. That has to be the most amount of votes I've ever heard of in any single racing community.
You know, it was quite a few votes, but man, the fans really showed up for these drivers, and I know he had the most. I want to say around, I think it was 38% of the vote, so
wow.
Quite a few votes for him. Definitely. Tom Flitcroft out here in the lead over Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Jonathan going to take it down low with the 48, and Francis Hamilton sitting third. Jimmy Cocker right behind. We saw him, what I thought was maybe struggling a little bit with handling. He's right up here for stage 2, so maybe it was a strategy call, just taking it easy for stage 1.
Maybe. Eliza, I'm still very, very impressed with the runs these guys are getting, as the 91 going to go ahead and take it 3 wide, but the 11 able to get a big run into the corner. Pulls up to the right rear of the 48, now going to fall back a little bit, a little too fast, 3 wide. 11, 20, 91, 91,
Ooh.
touches the grass, just clips it, able to wrangle it back up, sweet stay green, and no wreck.
What a save by that 91, just fishtails immediately and is able to gather that back up. A fantastic job. Just shows the amount of talent he has, and we've talked about him. He won that open race. He's out here in the main, and it's great to have him. But man, Stephen Maggio directly behind. We have Josh Taylor in 8th, but Tom Flitcroft still leading that lap out here, so he's doing phenomenal as we're on lap 55. Once it hits 70, that is going to be the finish of stage 2, and then we will shuffle these cars around a little bit for the the starting order of stage 3.
Yeah, Tom Flitcroft in that Bud number 8 always shows up big for big races. You know, he won Daytona, he's won Atlanta, he's won Talladega, and well, he wants to notch a win at Texas, at which is pretty much a track that isn't run anymore, being the legacy version of the track where it's got all kinds of grip. Tom comes from, you know, the Xbox side of racing, and he does go back to he does go back to racing at Texas prior to the conversion, where they really flattened out turns 1 and 2. I've always loved this version of the track a whole lot better, and man, it looks like Tom absolutely loving it as well.
All drivers on the lead lap at 16. Brody Folliker, Austin Mitty, and Mike Papa Bear Campbell 16th, 17th, and 18th. Really, really far back. Just unfortunate to see, but we do have another lap to catch up, and Brody should be able to come up to the front of the field heading into the final stage, which is only, Pete, 10 laps long. So that is going to be a wild 10 laps.
Yeah, we've got less than 15 laps to go, Eliza, and nobody has gone down pit road yet. Is this setting up to be a great show of communication between drivers getting on and off of pit road, or are we going to see a pileup at pit road entry? Only time is going to tell, but yeah, still, as they flash on by the entrance to pit road one more time, still nobody's gone down.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm expecting these guys to go in. It's not required, and if they can hang out the 35 laps, I'm driving that thing until the tires fall off. I'm staying out, and then I'll go to pit under stage caution. So I will be surprised if we do not see these top guys go in. I don't think any other driver is going to risk going a lap down.
I gotta agree. I wasn't thinking about the pit stop not being mandatory in the second stage. That's why I was thinking about Brody Folliker going down pit road early before. Right now, it doesn't really look like he's in any kind of a threat to go down pit road. As the leaders get to the start stripe right now, he's in the middle of the backstretch going towards turn 3. So there's still quite a gap between him and the leader. Again, he is out there on the oldest tires. Last time he was on pit road was the middle of stage 1 at lap 17. He's got Austin Mitty behind him, Matt Gale quite a ways ahead of him, but still again on the lead lap.
He's obviously has the oldest tires. It's just something he's going to have to watch is that tire wear. I mean, these tires that we heard from drivers in the last race, those tires blowing up and just ruining their cars, and they have to make it down pit road. So he's really going to have to watch that, take it easy on the track, and not go a lap down. So he's got a lot on his plate right now. I don't think it's exactly what he was hoping to see, but Tom Flitcroft into the wall, and it gets him loose coming off of turn 2. We've seen a lot of drivers happen. He holds on to the lead, but Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he's getting ready to, if he makes another mistake, he's going to take over that lead.
Yeah, Jurgensmeyer closing up on the back end of that number 8 machine. No real damage, it looks like, on the right side of that Bud number 8. The 20 of Matt Opliger also gaining a little bit of time. Francis Hamilton and Josh Taylor moving up to the number 5 position in that deuce. Rivers Jones, Connor Cunningham, they're swapping positions a little bit here, as the 3 is going to be able to pull slightly ahead of the 91 going into turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 separate groups here. This is going to be the second group led by Josh Taylor, and it's got quite a few drivers in it. And then we're going to have what looks to be it's going to be 12th is Joe Berg is going to lead this third group with Jarrett Cardwell, Matthew Gale, Luke Allen, and then Brody Folliker are going to be in this fourth group that is quite a bit ways back, but our top 4 drivers leaving that gap between the second group. So just about 8 more laps to go for the finish of stage 2.
Yeah, going back to Brody Folliker in that number 42 right now, sitting P16. There's one good thing that he can count on, and the spotter within iRacing will start to tell you, or will tell you, when your right front tire is getting to the point where it may pop. So you're definitely going to want to listen to your spotter. Meanwhile, also listening to your teammates and any way that you may be able to help them with any kind of adjustments they may have to make in their cars as well. So far, top 4 though, Eliza, it's still Tom Flitcroft, Matt Opliger, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, and Francis Hamilton. They've pulled away from the rest of the pack.
Gotta say, I'm impressed with Flitcroft's run out here. He hasn't had his best season this season, and I know I was talking to him before the race, and he just says, it hasn't been my best season. So for him to be out here and in the lead currently, I know that's got to be some really positive momentum for him going into the next race. And if he can win tonight, he will be so excited. And we'll see if he can get that done, but a great run for him.
Absolutely. I mean, clean air is absolutely king, no matter whether you're talking about one of the shortest tracks at Martinsville or Bristol or anywhere else. Clean air is what you want. And right now, he can put that number 8 machine anywhere he wants to put it because he's got all the downforce on the hood of that car. He scraped the wall just a little bit, but he's been able to extend that gap back about a half second back to Matt Oplinger and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Those two still running nose to tail, right with the 48 of Francis Hamilton. Josh Taylor and the 3 of Connor Cunningham, they're swapping rides or swapping paint just a little bit behind them, side by side, and Brendan Book right in tow.
Few more laps left, and it will be the finish of stage 2. Caution will come out for the stage break, and we will switch these drivers around to get in the proper order that we have brought up for the all-star race here tonight. Ah, man, this is just so wild. You see Mike Allard getting some nice spots. He is in 8th, Rivers Jones in 9th, Jimmy Cocker in 10th, Luke Allen 11th, Joe Berg 12th, Matthew Gale 13th, Jarrett Cardwell, who got in on the open race here, Stephen Maggio 15th, Brody Falliker still 16th, 17th is going to be Austin Mitty, and Mike Papa Bear Campbell 18th.
Again, Mike Papa Bear Campbell making his way in through the fan boat. Back up front, Eliza, it is so far still all the 8 of Tom Flickroff. 10 laps to go if I'm correct. And if he can keep this machine up there, I agree with you. This will be a huge accomplishment for Tom Flickroff. Usually he's kind of and this is nothing against him. You usually see him between 5th to 10th, maybe 5th to 15th. So for him to get on up here with the 20 of Matt Oplinger, the 00 of Jurgensmeyer, Francis Hamilton, as the 20 closes up huge on the back end of that 8. But for him to be up here leading all these laps at Texas Motor Speedway, that's a big feather in his cap.
Go Matthew Opliger going for that pass for the lead, and this is coming to the final part of stage 2. I do believe we might have another lap to go to finish it out here, but the 8 gonna take it high. I don't know if he's gonna be able to lead another lap. We'll see. It is so incredibly close. We're gonna have Jonathan Jurgensmeyer currently sitting 3rd, but these top 2 drivers really driving away from the remainder of the field as they're going down the backstretch.
Yeah, that 8 off that high side, absolutely strong. The 20 saw the speed up there. He's going to try it. The 8's going to pull down low. Coming off of turn 4, it'll be the 8 to the line.
There we go. Good job to Flitcroft leading another lap here. 17 to go, and you can see the remainder of the field. Quite the gap these guys have gotten, so the tire is definitely wearing out here, and I know these guys are counting down to make their way onto pit lane as we come to the final stage. But man, oh man, what a race here. Matthew Opliger still in the lead as they are side by side. I think it's going to be Matthew that takes that lead heading into the final stage. Tom Flitcroft in 2nd, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in 3rd, and I want to say that was going to be the end of stage 2, but we are still green, Pete.
Yeah, it's still green. I'm showing 16 to go, so I think we've got about 6 more laps if the overlay is correct, that is. So with that, Brendan Book right now takes over P3, up 11 spots since the start. Jurgensmeyer right behind. Francis Hamilton right now P5, up 2 spots. Josh Taylor continuing to pick up spots, now up 3 to P6. Connor Cunningham has fallen off just a little bit in that number 3, really running the high side, trying to gain a little bit of momentum. See some sparks shoot out from underneath that GM Goodwrench silver Dale Earnhardt throwback. Micah Allard back there in P8. He's also up 3 spots. With the 91 of Rivers Jones, our winner from the Open, and to round out the top 10, Joe Berg in that number 93. He's also spent some time up front with the 11 of Jimmy Cocker right underneath him.
I didn't hear nothing.
Caution down.
Finish of the stage. The 20 will take that win for stage 2. Tom Flitcroft in 2nd, Brendan Book in 3rd. We're going to have Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in 4th, and Francis Hamilton finishes out 5th for stage 2. With 14 laps to go, we will go back to green around lap 10 and have 10 to finish it out. I know these drivers are looking forward to getting those fresh tires. And Brody Folliker, who is currently in 17th, he will make his way up here into the front.
That's what was throwing me off. The additional laps that were added, so there's a true 10-lap shootout.
Yes.
That's what it was. I was like, come on, where's the math not working out here?
The math ain't mathin'.
The math ain't mathing. Right. Give me my calculator.
My gosh.
Great finish for Matt Oppliger and Tom Flitcroft. Brendan Book, big gains for him, up 11 to grab P3. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Francis Hamilton, great top 5 finish. Everybody going to go down pit road, grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. Nobody wanted this more than the 42 of Brody Falliker. Able to stay on the lead lap, not pop a tire, and he'll be set to go for the shootout.
Yeah, definitely have to be relieved. And Jamie Wright saying earlier, how was that not a choose cone violation? Kind of curious about that also. But the entire field so far going in, if anyone stays out, I'm pretty sure they have a death wish to pop a tire. But
yes, absolutely.
Everyone's on
yes.
it.
The money stop, Eliza. I know they're going to be set for the front part of the pack, but everybody else comes out where they come out to line up for these last 10 laps. So we'll have to see, is anybody gamble, maybe some right sides or just left sides in fuel, or is it 4 all the way around? We're about to find out.
That fall off is too big. It's 4 all the way around, no doubt. But Tom Flitcroft with a fantastic coming out of pit road here in the lead. Matthew Oppliger in 2nd, Brendan Book 3rd, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer 4th, Francis Hamilton in 5th, Micah Allard in 6th, and this is where things get interesting. We're going to have to switch around the positions here. I want to say, if I can bring it back up. So, for the final part of the stage, we're going to have the restart order is P1 will be the stage 1 winner, which is Brody. P2 will be stage 2 winner. P3 will be stage 1's 2nd place finisher. And P4 will be stage 2's 2nd place finisher. And then the rest will just be how they finished out there on track. So Brody all the way up to the front. I know, good news for him. And, I know he's got to be relieved just getting those fresh tires.
Yeah, I mean, and getting that EOL probably served him even more. Having the old tires going to drop to the back. Maybe he knew right off the bat, saying, "Hey, I'm not going to have any kind of issue if I go to the back. I also stay out of any kind of possible wrecks. I've got a fast car. Why chance it? You never know."
This is where some chaos might happen. We've seen these guys really take care of each other. I mean, we've had some bumping and banging out there on those doors and whatnot, but final 10 laps there, Pete. I think we might see a little bit of chaos.
I mean, usually we're by now in a normal race. We're 10 laps go, caution comes out, something happens on track. We're thinking, elbows out. There's no more give. It's going to be all take. Will it be that way? There's no caution, so they all know that. They don't want to push their luck, and they want the best possible finish. I think we race clean all the way in.
Green.
Eliza, green flag, 10 laps to go, Texas Motor Speedway, let's go.
Man, these guys are stacked up nose to tail, just pushing, especially on that outside. No one is giving an inch. They are all on top of each other. That 5 car going up a little bit, not into the 00, but man, they are just all over each other, trying to push each other down that straight. You can see the 48 of Francis Hamill taking a look, gonna take it 3 wide, 4 wide, 61 00, the 5 and the 48, all 4 wide for P5.
Oh, P5, not kidding. 4 wide, coming through the triangle. That's not gonna work. 5 of Brandon Brooks gets a little bit of a tap, and all mayhem breaks loose behind them. Oh, 91 down on the bottom. He gets a piece of it. He goes through the grass. Looks like the 93, the 5, they get tagged there, make some hard contact into the wall. And, man, that just took out a bunch of good cars in the back. But, Eliza, rules are rules. We stay green.
We stay green, and these guys are still stacked up just 2 by 2 all the way through the 42 and the 20, leading the field with the 20, a nose out for him. And we're going to have Tom Flitcroft trying to take a peek, but he did not have enough momentum to go on the outside to make a 3.
Oh, he's got a little bit of a push now from the backside. Talk about push. The 51 did not let go of the 42's back bumper from the start all the way through turns 1 and 2. He didn't let go until they were getting into turn 3. That Aflac 51 machine from Maggio wanted to go. He still does. Still side by side for first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Back to the 48.
That 3 all over that line. You can see him getting super loose. They've been going 3 wide with the 00 in the middle. Micah Allard on the top, and the 3 is going to back it down. Brody Falker goes to the lead, switching as they go side by side. Absolutely incredible. Take a look at this. They are still 3 wide. Micah in the middle. These guys, elbows out, going for everything with 6 to go.
6 to go, 00 down low, 61 of Mike Allard in the middle, 48, take no prisoners on the high side, all kinds of momentum, staying in the throttle, has to back out of it, not to hit the wall. The 61 sees the 00 come up, here comes the 3 of Cunningham, he's gonna keep it 3 underneath the 00 main and tail machine, 3 washing up track, has to get out of the throttle. Eliza, these guys keeping it real.
Take a look at this lead here. Brody Folliker side by side with that 20 machine. Nothing has changed here. That 20 with the nose out. Now we're going to have Tom Flitcroft 2 wide with that 51 coming up with 4 to go once we get past this next corner. And the 51 dives way down low, 3 wide. Brody Folliker in that center, moving each other all over the track. Things are escalating here. Elbows are definitely out.
Escalating quickly, the 51 pinched the 42 up. 42 had to check up for just a moment or lose it. With all that, that allowed the 00 and the 48 to close on up. So 42-51 back side by side. Still, Tom Flitcroft up on the high side, carrying as much momentum as he can.
Hard
getting
into
all
the
over
wall.
the back bumper. The 20, he's pushing for challenge for the lead going into 3.
Francis Hamilton, Micah Allard. Francis Hamilton looked like he got into the wall that took him out of the race along with Micah Allard. So quite a few drivers out of this. Meanwhile, Matthew Opliger, he's still in the lead. Tom Flitcroft right side by side. Brody Folliker directly behind. 2 wide all the way through. These guys coming up. 3 to go currently on the backstretch.
Yeah, 51 going to give a little bit of a shot to the back end of the 8. Tom Flitcroft has to check up for just a moment, get the nose of that car to set. He makes a little bit of contact with the right rear of the 20, sends him up track a little. The 42 of Falliker sees this. He's going to go ahead and take it up the high side. Now big switch down low underneath the 20, side by side with Opliger.
Beautiful crossover there. That's going to put him in a little bit in the lead, but some contact. These 2 just fishtailing down the backstretch. Coming up, 1 to go shortly. The 20 going to squeeze the Folliker down in that 42 car. 3 wide right behind him. These guys just getting crazy. 5 drivers in this battle for the lead. Anything can happen. Brody out in the lead, coming to the final lap. Here we go, turn 1.
Yeah, 51 the 51 of Maggio throws it down low behind the 42. Could this be the push that the 42 needs to get out by the 20? 20 makes contact with the wall. They're both going around. The only one that clears this is the 8 of Tom Flitcroft. Connor Cunningham also squeezes through on the bottom. Jared Cardwell way up high for P3. It looks like it's going to be a Flitcroft kind of night.
Flitcroft gets it done. He's going to be the winner here at the All-Star race at Texas Motor Speedway. Connor Cunningham finishes in 3rd. Jarrett Cardwell coming up through the field, misses the chaos, finishes out podium here tonight. Matthew Gale right on the outside looking in. P4, Austin Mitty 5th, Mike Papa Bear Campbell 6th, Jimmy Cocker 7th, Micah Allard 8th, Luke Allen 9th, and Steven Maggio, he finishes top 10.
Yeah, Francis Hamilton brings it home 11 with Rivers Jones just behind him for P12. Brody Falliker after the wreck P13. Matt Opliger 14th. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer 15th. 16th is going to be Brendan Book. Joe Berg 17th. Josh Taylor 18th. but the one celebrating this evening, the one and only driver 8, Tom Flitcroft.
Yeah, we need to get him to the booth, but how about that? Just a great celebration for him. An incredible night, and I know he fought his way all night to be up there, and man, beautiful job by that 8 machine.
Absolutely. I'm very, very happy for Tom. He strives to get the wins and drive as clean as he can every single week. It's good to see him in victory lane.
Doing some burnouts here. All-star winner of the night. We talked about it. If he won, just a great booster for him going into the remainder of the season. And here he goes, doing donuts, celebrating in that 8 car. It has been a while. It's been coming for a long time. And here we go, that 8 machine in victory lane. Tom Flitcroft, how's it feel to take it home a winner?
You know, not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting that going into the last lap, but you never count yourself out.
Pure chaos going in the final couple of laps, but man, you kept it up there pretty much the entire race. You started, you gained 5 spots to finish here. So what was the strategy? How did you keep it up there and stay out of trouble?
Well, I mean, first of all, I definitely want to say thanks to all the guys up front that we were racing with, because that was a little hectic there, but we did our best to race as clean as we could, and hopefully we put on a good show. I'm actually surprised that we made it as far as we did, because we were really racing the hell out of each other, but it was a lot of fun for sure. But I decided in stage 2, I'm like, I gotta get to the front no matter what. I don't care how much I burn up my tires. That was my mindset. So I did that, and unfortunately, there at the end, we had a great battle. I mean, that was cool to watch, I'm sure, instead of just letting it
Yes.
play out boring. But I mean, man, Matthew Opplinger, I mean, that's one hell of a battle right there at the end. I didn't give up, just like my engine just did, I guess. But
I was about to say, I think the engine gave out.
yeah, I should have given it some clean air, a little fresh air around the track. But she'll be fine. We'll get a new one from C Motorsports. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun for sure.
Great job out there. Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge momentum for you moving forward into the remainder of the season. How do you feel about Pocono coming back to points race?
Oh man, well with this 550 package, it seems like you really want to be on the outside and try to avoid being on the inside as much as possible. And I mean that's the only reason why I was in position to kind of capitalize on those guys' misfortune in front of me, because I just sent it on the outside, and I'm like, I had pre-planned. I'm like, they're probably gonna get tight off a 2 or off a 4, and I'm just gonna get a huge run and cut down to the inside, and by Jesus, something good finally happened. Let's go.
Oh man, a prestigious race to win, and you got it done tonight. So just a huge congratulations to you. It's great to see you out there in winner circle.
Yeah. Thanks everybody. Thanks you guys for putting on the show and putting together the race. It was definitely a battle, and hopefully everybody enjoyed it.
Oh, it was a
I'm happy
fun
for
one
you,
for
Tom.
sure. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, thanks Pete.
You got it, buddy.
Thanks
Way
guys.
to get it done, sir.
Yes sir, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, P. We got someone in the booth for P2.
Yeah, Connor Cunningham brings that Dale Earnhardt number 3 back to a podium finish. Connor, we saw that car wicked loose. We saw it really, really tight, whether you were on the bottom, in the middle, or the high line. Walk us through your race and what changes you had to make in order to get the handling of that machine under control.
At the start of the race, I was trying to feel it out, see what I can find for an advantage. So on the bottom in 3 and 4, it was plowing tight. So I was just dragging the brake and letting it rotate, to get it to turn. And in 3 and 4, that's how I was able to get runs on that corner. But I don't think my car was loose unless I was accidentally hitting somebody until that point. Sorry about that. And on the 10 to go. But yeah, I felt pretty decent on. I was pretty surprised on how my long run was compared to everybody else.
Being
And
locked into the All-Star race, were you able to sit back and watch the Open, and were you able to learn anything that you were able to apply to the All-Star?
don't wreck. That was my that's what I saw. So I
Fair enough.
was thinking about anything on that one.
Well, like Eliza just told Tom Tom, we head to Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, next week. How do you prepare yourself to go back to the Pennsylvania mountains? Is that track a track that you traditionally have an issue with, or are you kind of looking forward to going back?
I'm looking forward to going to Pocono. Pete, you know what I do back in the day. I'm always having fun there. So
Back in the
I'm
day in your Hellman's car, I got you.
yeah, good
All
times.
right, buddy. Well, congratulations on this runner-up. We'll see you next week in the Pocono Mountains, sir.
Alrighty, thank you, fellas.
You got it, Eliza. You've got Team FTR driver number 12 up 13 spots on the evening. The one and only Jarrett Cardwell.
I know. We get to talk to you 2 times in one night. What a night, man.
Gotta be a wreck
FT
somewhere.
Jarrett, you had an awesome night out here. You made it into the All-Star race and finished out top 3. Take us through your strategy. Like Pete said, you made up 13 spots. How did you get there?
Man, I tried to take the knowledge that I had gotten from the Open, and I was gonna short pit stage 1. I just figured the math would have worked out on that. Stayed out a little bit longer. I didn't have the speed that those guys up front had. They were wicked fast, man. Um, but the long run stage 2, I had already run a long run in the Open, and so I noticed when everyone started to fall off and was able to kind of not take myself out of it as quickly, and just stay in it there. And then the restart for stage 3, I didn't think I was going to have anything, but the those super fast guys, man, they wouldn't agree on who was going to win. I really wish the 67 wouldn't have drug us back at the very end. I know we're going for it, but he kind of took both of us out. We both would have been there though. He was just as fast as I was, but super cool to fly down the back stretch, come out third, and hell of an event. Hope we put on a good show. Thanks to everyone that made this event happen.
You guys definitely did. So fun to watch. But that final lap, what chaos did you see in front of you and how'd you make it through unscathed?
Well, I saw a lot of smoke. I wasn't going to lift, and I saw a little bit of a gap to the left and just kind of guessed. And if I figured if I could have stayed high going into 3, I might have been able to rip it down going in, maybe have something for Connor and Tom. But I'll take a third after all the night that we've had here with the 12 car. It's super cool to be able to get 2 podiums in one night. Get to talk to you guys.
Absolutely. Well, what a terrific night out here for the All-Star race. Next week, we are at Pocono, and it is going to be a fun one. Pete, it's always fun with you.
You as well. Pocono is going to be all kinds of fun. You know, turn 1 modeled after Trenton Speedway, turn 2 after the Milwaukee Mile, and then turn 2 off of Indy, and then turn 3 off of the Milwaukee Mile. It's going to be a great race. Cannot wait to get there. Very, very tricky track. Some people like to cut turn 2. Others got to whoa and slow up for turn number 1, but it's always flat out on the exit of 3 to carry max speed all the way down the longest stretch in NASCAR. Cannot wait to get there with you.
We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same day. It's going to be Monday night around 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.